Hi and welcome along to AFTV. We are here for our deadline day special and also going to be giving you a chance to have your say on the signings that Arsenal have made this January transfer window, which only has, 2 hours, 36 left to go, and then the window is going to be closed. But I think we can safely say that more or less Arsenal's, their business is more or less done. And we're going to fill you in on that business, joined by Cecil G. How you doing, bro? Love the welcome video for Jorginho. You guys can go and check it out. And in case you don't know, the signing has been made official. Jorginho has signed for Arsenal. That deal is now official. If you get onto Arsenal's website, the pictures are on there of Jorginho. He's going to be wearing the number 20 shirt, and he is our new signing. Signed for £10 million from Chelsea, including add-ons for around about £2 million. So we'll take the final deal up to about 12 million. It's an 18-month contract with an option of a further year, and it's quite a short-term deal. And Jorginho, defensive midfielder from Chelsea, becomes an Arsenal player. We were obviously for the past week and a half chasing Moises Caicedo, but Brighton were playing real hardball, refused to sell him this January transfer window, despite him putting out that statement that he put out last week. So Moises Caicedo is staying at Brighton. Maybe Arsenal might be able to have another attack at him in the summer. We needed somebody in. The news broke this morning, although I think a lot of Arsenal fans knew that Mohamed Elneny was going to be out for a long time. Confirmed today. Sounds like he's going to be out for the rest of the season. By the way, his contract's been extended as well. He had an option on the end of his contract to extend it by a year. They've extended that. But Mohamed Elneny is going to be out for a long term. So we needed a defensive midfielder, and that defensive midfielder is Jorginho. Signed and sealed. Cecil, happy?
Am I happy with the signing? Right, let's get this out there first of all. Obviously, listen, Premier League proven, whatnot. He's won everything. So, listen, he's done what apart from Premier League title. But for me, am I happy is the question. Truthfully, me as a fan, when I saw it, after obviously not getting Caicedo, wasn't massively happy. Still not massively happy, if I'm completely honest. Look, there's so many things you can look at. Of course, he's like I said, he's very experienced and whatnot. So it's a signing. We need to make Lokonga's probably going on loan to Crystal Palace. That's done as well. And obviously, like you said, Elneny's got a long-term injury. So we needed a body in there. Jorginho, for me, I don't know what it is.
It's the Chelsea thing for you.
There's something there. It's the Chelsea thing. It's maybe the Italian thing. You haven't got the Arsenal Italian. You got the France jersey. I think you'd come with an Arsenal Italian merch today, like James wearing his Italian jumper. I don't know what it is, but Jorginho, it may be the Chelsea thing. I don't want to hear it's not a sexy signing. So that's probably what I don't care about all of that. It's more just it doesn't seem right to me. Most of the signings I see Mikel Arteta make kind of makes sense to me. I don't know.
This does make sense.
Yeah, but does it? Like the drop off between him and Partey for me, there'll be a drop off there. I want to know what his strength is. Like mainly, a lot of people talking about his passing range, but I think
passing range is good.
What else? What is he really good at? Listen, I understand he was
good at controlling the tempo of a game. Sits at the base. Yeah, remember a couple of seasons ago when he was playing in the Euros, right?
Yep.
That season when he won the Euros, he won the Champions League,
the Club World Cup.
He was voted UEFA
player of the year, right? In Europe.
Right?
Yep.
Just because he plays for Chelsea now, he's just become rubbish.
No, that's
right?
not the case.
To me, this is a sensible signing. A good, sensible signing by Arsenal, right? We needed a backup to Thomas Partey. You're never going to get, you're not going to get someone who's equally as good as Thomas Partey in the January transfer window. They tried. They tried to get Moises Caicedo. Brighton said he's not for sale, right? I spoke about this earlier on. You go to buy a car. It's your dream car.
Yep.
You come to buy it off of me. You offer me 20 grand. I say it's not for sale, Cecil. You offer me 25. I say, it's not for sale. You come back with 30. I say, bro, let me tell you something. Don't bother. It's not worth it. I'm not selling this car. I'm not selling it. So what do you do after that? You've got to come up with an alternative. That's what Arsenal have done. This is the January transfer window. So it is so difficult to sign players this January transfer window. Manchester United today got an injury. right? Injury, long-term injury, just like our situation, right? They've had to go out and get a loan for Marcel Sabitzer to bring in from now till the end of the season. You think that's the real target that they'd love to get? But that's all that's available right now. I mean, so they've had to go and act fast because you need cover. Now, the cover for Thomas Partey would be Jorginho. He's an experienced player. He's played in the Champions League. He's played in the Europa League.
Won those,
he's played in the Premier League week in, week out, so he can hit the ground running. I'm happy with it.
Robbie? Are you honestly?
I am happy.
Right, listen,
I'm happy.
All right, let's do this because when we was in the car.
No. Listen, Moises Caicedo is who I wanted. Right? When we were linked to him, I was like, that is an awesome
quality player.
That would be an awesome signing.
For now and the future,
For now and the future, 21 years old.
Yep.
That would be an awesome signing. That could be difficult to get that done in January, but be an awesome signing.
It'd have been a great signing.
But we didn't get it. Then I'm thinking, well, we need, and I've been saying this all week, even on my Transfer Daily show, if we can't get him, we need a plan B. They looked at Zubamendi.
Yeah, I want him a quality player.
Right, they looked at Zubamendi of Real Sociedad.
One of my options,
as an option, right? They were even going to activate his release clause according to rumours. But again, the player said, I'm not leaving Real Sociedad mid-season. We're third in La Liga. We got a chance to get into the Champions League. I owe it to this club. This is the club that made me. Come back in the summer, but right now I'm not moving. Again, what are you going to do? So what's your plan? What is your plan after that? Jorginho's available, right? His contract's running out at Chelsea. You can go in and get him. I'm with it. Yeah, get it done. We've got excellent cover now for Thomas Partey. I know
excellent cover.
I think Robbie. I do think excellent cover because I think he's an experienced player. I think his experience will help us in the running for the league. What we're going for, because he's been there and done that. He's won those big things. He's 31. He's an experienced player.
Tailed off this season.
Now, he's not
the same of that 2021 season.
Yeah, but he's not a long term. He's not. You've got to look at. He's not really a long term player for Arsenal. He's been brought in on a short term contract. Last season, we didn't go and get anybody. We didn't go and get no cover. And look what happened. Remember?
Yeah, I very much remember.
Now we've got cover.
Damn, is there no one else out there? It was connected.
All right, you tell me who.
With Declan Rice, I know that might happen in the summer. I know. Wait, I've got other people. Yunus Musa, we liked him. Both of us. We was like, that's another player there. Could have been available. And I think Weston McKennie's gone to Leeds now. But
Weston McKennie's not a defensive midfielder.
I know, but listen, a lot of players.
No. Listen, get players that are going to fit the position now. We ain't got no time to experiment, right? We are at the end of January, right? February, March, April, May. Season's done. 4 months effectively. Yeah, we ain't got no time for no.
I haven't got no time for. Agree with this though.
We haven't got no time for no experiments. We need someone that can come in and hit the ground running, right? Someone like Jorginho who knows the Premier League. If we play in Everton next week, he's played at Everton a million times. He knows what to expect at Everton, right? Not someone who's coming in who's like, what's Everton like? I've never played them before.
Yeah.
Who am I coming up against? What's that player? Look, what's that? Someone who knows what they're going to be coming up against. That's what we need right now. Somebody that can play on a Thursday night in that Europa League, right? To give Partey a rest so Partey can come in on the Sunday when we got a big game and we're trying to stay ahead of Man City. For me, good signing.
Good signing. Definitely to an excellent cover for me. Listen, it just for
excellent
me,
cover. I do think.
Jorginho for me, I don't want to talk about the sexist signing, but for me as a fan, I don't love it, and it's not because it is partly maybe because of Chelsea, but it's just there's more to it than that. I just feel like there must be other players out there that could come in. I know people talking about Amrabat. I know that didn't happen in the end, but he could have been there.
Has Amrabat gone anywhere? Has he moved anywhere?
No. Someone we could have looked at. I know. I just feel like
from Amrabat, Barcelona have come in for Amrabat, but right, Fiorentina said he's not for sale. Then what do you do? So what I'm trying to say to people out here playing.
Arsenal knock is different to any other knock.
People out here playing Football Manager. What about the knock of Man United? Why don't they go and get him then? Right? Let's get a load of super chats coming in. 140 says Jorginho is the player you want to slow it right down and quieten the home crowds on our away days. Let's see at Goodison. I think we'll be surprised. Jonathan James says, after last window, fans all said, if we can't get our top target, it's unacceptable that we get no one. We couldn't get Caicedo, we got Jorginho. Well done, Jonathan James. That's exactly what I'm talking about, right? Virus Legend says, I agree with Robbie. Our fans are just fickle. Chatiana says, Robbie, the concern is Eddie's ability to close a deal. Well, he did.
No, it's not. He's closed big deals.
He's closed some
before.
deals. He closed Jesus.
It's not that. Listen, we're not
He
going to go
closed
to Eddie.
Ben White.
Yeah, he done. And some of the number 2 signings, Zinchenko, ended up being a superb player for us.
Zinchenko.
Trossard.
Everybody last year moaning, when we didn't get Lissandro Martinez. We didn't get Lissandro. How good has Zinchenko been?
Yeah, it's been class.
What would you swap it? Would you swap it back out?
No.
Right. Yeah. If you can't get your plan, my thing is, I was upset last January. I remember I was upset. I was fuming when that window closed. I was like, how can we not have another plan? Right? How can we not have another plan? This is not right. We've left ourselves short, and we did leave ourselves short, and we paid the price for it because we didn't make the Champions League. At least they've learnt the lesson this year. It's all right. They went after Mudryk. Got blown out of the water by Chelsea with their 8.5-year deals and, paying literally all the money up front. Couldn't live with that, as no other club in world football can right now, including Man City, including Newcastle. Got blown out of the water for that, but they had a plan B, Trossard.
Yeah.
Right? This one, they've not been able to secure the deal. Also, Cecil, let me just make this point to you, right?
Go on.
Would you like to see Moises Caicedo come into the club, or would you like to see Declan Rice come in? Those are 2 of the players that have been spoken about.
Yeah, of course I would.
All right, so suppose you go now and you blow your budget with Amrabat, but really Amrabat ain't really who you wanted. What you wanted was Declan Rice. But now you get to the summer with financial fair play rules, you can't really buy that player. Can't sell Amrabat or whoever it is because you just bought them in. Then what?
Well, you could put him on a low year contract like we've done with Jorginho.
But you can't do that with a player like some of the players that you're suggesting, like Amrabat. You're not be able to do that because number one, you have to pay big money to get him out. Zubomendi, and you're gonna have to pay big money for these guys.
Zubomendi knows of quality that if he comes in, you're happy to pay that money.
So if you bring in,
he's long for me. He's a bit of a long term.
Bring in Zubomendi, basically you're saying probably not,
you replace one of those players that
you're not going to get Declan Rice.
Yeah, we might miss out on one of those players in the summer.
So to me, this is why I think it's a good signing.
Listen. Jorginho. I'm sorry. Listen, I welcomed you lovely on the welcome video. Make sure you check it out. But just for me, last night, I was preparing the Caicedo welcome video. Happy, he's like great player, like I said, young, 21. I was getting excited. I was like, Mikel Arteta feels like you're fitting, coming from Brighton as well. They play the way we've been playing. They have a good blueprint there. We fit right in. An hour later, I see the group chat. I see Jorginho.
Couldn't get our number 1 target.
Yeah. We'll have to see. Let
me read some more of these super chats. Excuse me. No Fox Given says Edu out people probably didn't want Zinchenko. Josh Barrera says Edison Alvarez should have looked into $40 million. He says. Big up to Luis Davalos. I don't see your message though. Julius Adiyemi says all the emotions aside, guys. I think a lot of people are just reactive because he's coming from Chelsea. For cover and backup after we made an attempt on our main target, good signing. Period. I agree with you. Hunter says. I hope we aren't done. We lost 4 players, Elneny, Lokonga, Marquinhos and Cedric, and gained Trossard and Jorginho. Go for Tielemans. I don't think we will go for Tielemans, and I do think we're done. Sambi Lokonga is going out on loan to Crystal Palace. That's done already. Great. Cedric is joining Fulham on loan till the end of the season as well. And I don't think we're going to get anybody else in. I think that is it. It's Jorginho who we're bringing in today. I don't think we'll be making any more signings before the end of the window. Melissa says it's going to be hard to get used to this signing. I hear that. He's a Chelsea, the Chelsea
do you like his penalty? Do you like his penalties?
As long as they go in, yeah. And most of them go in. Most of them go in.
He scored 41 of them.
Most of them go in. I think he's got to be our penalty taker now.
Huh?
I think he's going to have to be the penalty taker.
I don't know.
He never misses, does he?
No, but
I can only ever remember him missing 1 penalty.
He missed against. I'm sure
he missed one in the Euros.
Yeah. Oh, bloody
the little skip.
Well, you like the little skip?
It's not like, listen, he scores. He always scores them. Andrea says, I think Jorginho is a good signing. He'll do the work that goes unnoticed. It's not like we were after Mbappe, but settle for Yaya Sanogo. And Red White Pappy 93 says, hey, Robbie, ask Cecil to close his eyes when Jorginho poses with the title during the parade in June. He will suit us, keep the faith. What about Cecil? His experience. The experience that he brings.
A wealth of experience. Listen, I did a whole breakdown on him. Vice captain at Chelsea, a leader as well. Yeah, like I said, won the Euros, he's won the Champions League, he's won the Europa League, he's won Club World Cup. He's got a wealth of experience, but I don't see him as an Arsenal player. Obviously, Mikel Arteta we've been linked with him a few times over the years, but there's something there. For me, this one just doesn't seem like right. I hope to be proven wrong. I hope, like that super chat says, I hope he's lifting the title at the end of the season and I'm there smiling. And I'll eat my words, but I don't think he doesn't want to go straight in. It's a stopgap signing, but of all players, there could have been someone else out there.
Mendes, I like your Mendes Apocalypto. I like his comment. He says, this was your criticising Ramsdale. 50 million for Ben White. This Tomiyasu, I've never seen him playing. You all been criticising and been proven wrong. Jorginho is good business. That's true. I remember Ramsdale, even me, I'm going to be honest.
The price tag I complained
When we
about.
got Ramsdale, I was thinking, do we need Ramsdale? We got Leno. We should be concentrating on other areas. How good has Ramsdale been?
Unbelievable.
How good has Ramsdale been? When we bought in Ben White, 50 million, I was like, that's a lot of money for Ben White, man. I was going, there's some other positions we kind of need to concentrate on first. Are they sure? How good has Ben White been?
Unbelievable.
How good has Jesus been? Fantastic, 40 million. How good has Zinchenko been? Right? We have to have faith in this. When people are there criticising Edu, I don't understand it.
No, that's
about him not getting big deals over the line.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right? Listen, the Mudryk one, we got blown out of the water lastminute.com by Chelsea. I don't think, you can... There's no club right now in world football when it comes to spending money that can compete with Chelsea. Yeah. Look what they're doing today. Enzo Fernandez. They're paying his release clause 115 million pounds. They're actually apparently playing extra on top so that they can, get the installments done in a way in which they can get around financial fair play.
Please.
Nobody can compete with what they're doing right now. That's how they got Mudryk. 8.5-year contract. So let's be real with this.
Brought in some good players, and listen, no one's really complaining about the players that Edu and that I brought in of the past.
Edu and Arteta and faith.
Look, they've done well. Yeah. Like, they've done well. I trust in them. This one, I'm gonna have to be proven wrong.
Yeah, but, Demetrius Collins says, Cecil keeps saying someone else is out there. Cecil, who? Name the player.
I've mentioned a few names. No, I've mentioned a few. I mean, this one's
available.
This is a dream one, yeah. And we want a Camavinga.
No, we don't want no dreams.
Camavinga on loan. Come
on, Camavinga on loan.
It'd have been
I spoke about it on Transfer Daily. Camavinga on loan, no way. I was doing a video yesterday with Raul, the Real Madrid fan.
Yep.
I said to him, I go, just jokingly, I said, we'll take Camavinga. He goes, you must be mad. He goes, Camavinga, no chance. He goes, one of our best players.
That's the dream.
It's the dream, but you've got no chance of getting... What's the point in the dream? You're getting no chance of getting
I like what Moraka says here as well. Onana was an option as well. I was looking at as well. Wouldn't mind Onana. You were speaking about him on Transfer Daily.
Yeah, but Onana said he's not leaving Everton. Onana was signed for Everton.
Not too long ago, I know.
In the summer for 35 million pounds. There were suggestions that maybe 50 million could get him away. Onana came out. It wasn't just Arsenal was interested in Newcastle as well. Onana came out and said, there is no way I'm leaving Everton. I've only just joined there. Again, what do? This is the thing about the January transfer window. It's not as easy as that. The summer transfer window is always a bit easier because it's more long term. You've got longer, you heard that interview I did with Urquhart, the agent, where he said that, in the summer, you have a longer period of time to work on a signing. In January, you've only got a couple of weeks.
But the club should know. I know you say a couple of weeks, but when I met them in the World Cup in December, they were having meetings about this. They were
exactly.
So and they must have been planning before this.
No doubt they would have spoken.
Through loads of names.
Their target was Mudryk, right? We saw that at the start.
Yeah, that was 100%.
And no doubt, right? They would have targeted Moises. From well, this is actually what I sort of heard through one of my sources. Yeah, that Moises Caicedo was a target that they were going to go after in the summer, but because of the injury to El Neni. And because of the league position that we're in right now, they've said, right, let's bring that deal forward and try and get this done now, right? So they always knew they were going to have difficulty in getting it done because it's January.
Yeah.
But they tried. And they put a lot of money on the table, 60 million,
No, it's
I think.
It's a lot. I was shocked when I seen it online for Caicedo. But do you know what? It would have been the cherry on the cake. Go on.
We're gonna get some of we got some of you callers that we're gonna get up online. Don't forget, if you want to get involved, you go to AFTV Fan Zone. You can see it up on the screen there. Download the AFTV app. And it's a very simple to get through to Fan Zone, and you can come up and speak to us. We're going to be speaking to people in a minute. First of all, let me just do a few more super chats. We've got Rocco. He says, don't forget Pep Guardiola really wanted Jorginho before he went to Chelsea. I think we should see how he plays before we react. A good deal, honestly. Hassan says, on multiple occasions, Arsenal have failed to secure their number one target. Cost us top 4 last year. Let's hope it doesn't cost us the league this year. Hassan, what cost us the league last year wasn't really that we didn't manage to secure our number one target. It's that we didn't get anybody. We didn't get no cover. So when Partey was out, the drop was like this, right? So that for me, you know, and weren't just Partey. There were some other positions as well where we didn't have enough cover. At centre-back position, we didn't have enough covering. Adam says 10 million for a proven CDM. Trossard in the process, he says. Gunnar Station says the Jorginho signing makes sense. He's better than Elneny and Lokonga. And also, let's not forget the fans weren't happy with Ramsdale, White, Nketiah, or even Nketiah getting the number 14 shirt. Trust the process. Yeah, very, very true.
I was there.
Yeah, there was a certain person sat next to me who wasn't happy with that number 14 man, shirt. Kicking up. Do you care about that now? That number 14 shirt now?
Still.
Achieve says,
big up, Eddie.
I hope not spending big on a midfielder now will allow us to still pursue a big midfielder, names like Rice in the summer, and I would love to see Declan Rice at Arsenal. Ishmael Rivera says Jorginho will look far better at Arsenal, and he's a bench warmer for us. Nobody on Chelsea is looking the way they did in 2021. Prem Reddy says, why are we sulking so much? Our and our whole squad combined don't have the European experience as him. He was a captain. Plus, he's a good penalty taker. We know what winning mentality he's got, and all of that for £12 million. Gear says, those who say Edo out also said Arteta out, laugh out loud. Chatiana says, Robbie, we needed these signings in the summer. We always needed a backup for Thomas from like last year, strikers too. If you remember last summer, we was trying to get Douglas Luiz because of the Elneny injury right at the deadline day. It's almost the same. And we didn't manage to get him because Villa wouldn't sell. John Haight says, why not bring back Charlie Patino? I think leave Charlie Patino where he is. Let him keep developing. You know, again, the experience of Jorginho, I think, would be better than having a Charlie Patino back. He's a talented player. Amar Official says Zubimendi is better than Caicedo, and for 52 million euros release clause, money talks, and we should have paid the clause, but the player didn't want to leave. Because let me just explain a release clause. Yeah, right. So you can say you're going to activate the release clause, right? So they have to make the player talk to whoever's activated the release clause. But if the player makes it clear, I ain't leaving, I'm not going nowhere, which he did.
There's no Cecil here.
No, we're talking about Zubimendi.
Oh,
Zubimendi says, I'm not going anywhere until the summer at least. I'm with Real Sociedad. I want to get us into the Champions League. Then there's no point in activating the release clause. All the release clause does is enable you to talk to the player, and then you can, you know, if the player agrees to go, you can get that deal done. Abdullah Abu Hussein says people need to stop sobbing about Jorginho. Loads of super chats. He said need to stop sobbing about Jorginho. We won't play much anyways. We still pray that Thomas stays fit. And worst case, if he misses a couple, it will be Jorginho instead of Lokonga. Alexander says, will Arsenal hunt in the last hour Caicedo, or how far is Arsenal with him? And on one more cue, Why Arsenal not bringing Ibrahim Sangara from PSV because he's not available? Note that no club went after him, even though he's a top player. And with the Caicedo thing, that deal's dead. We're not going after Caicedo. It's Jorginho. And Michael Baxter says, wasn't Mikel Arteta perceived as a panic buy stopgap after losing Fabregas and Nasri? Then that United defeat. Mertesacker, same window, if memory serves me correctly. Love how times have changed. I remember those, man. Bloody hell. Tom says, I find it absolutely disgusting what Chelsea have done in the market to spend 600 to 700 million in less than a year. No, it's a loophole, but they deserve a big ban. Loads of super chats coming in. Listen, we also got some of you guys online. Let's see if we can get you.
This will be interesting. What side are they on? Are people happy with this signing?
We got Kemi. Have we got Kemi? How you doing, Kemi?
Hey, Kemi.
Not bad, Robbie.
Kemi, where you from?
Cecil. Canada. We spoke the last time.
Yeah, we did. From Canada. Big up, Kemi.
Kemi, talk to me.
Cecil. Do you want to dream about the cup or you want to feel it?
No, I want the Premier League title so much this year. Of course I do.
Yeah, so Jorginho is a good signing, I'll tell you that. Listen, he's a proven winner, you know. He's a good cover-up for Partey. Last time I talked to Robbie, that was a position I was actually concerned about, right? I was sad about Mudryk, but I was happy with Trossard, and you can see he's doing very well already. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm very concerned about Thomas, and I think Jorginho is a good backup. I thought we were paying too much for Caicedo, if you ask me, right? And I had a banter with some of my boys. I was saying, this is probably a chess move by Edu, revving up the price for Caicedo so Chelsea can go buy him and then we'll go buy Tielemans instead. But obviously that's not what's happening here. So anyways, my take is Jorginho is going to do a good service for us for a year. The contract's for a year, Cecil.
Yeah,
the contract's for 18 months. It's an 18-month contract with an option for an additional year. So really and truly, when you look at the contract, if he's doing well, we can extend the contract. If he's not doing that well, we can move him on. And also, that contract and that price that we're bringing him in for allows us space then, when the summer comes around, to go out there and get either Moises Caicedo again or maybe a Declan Rice. Makes sense to me.
Kemi, quickly, yeah. Who would you have preferred? Moises Caicedo or Jorginho? I don't know.
Obviously, I prefer a younger player in Caicedo. But listen, he's only played 26 games in the Premier League.
It looks good.
It looks good, but I don't think that's enough to say, let's spend that much on him. But Jorginho, it's not your money, you know.
It's not your money, you know. I saw Edu and Stan in it. I saw them. They got big money. It's not our money, you know. They got a lot of money. They're in the top restaurant in LA. They got money, man. It's not yours. It's not yours. But go on.
Yeah, well, you make good sense there, right? It's not my money, but like I felt like if we spend that much on him, how can we justify spending? Because I know Declan Rice, which I want to see Declan Rice in the national shirt. I know Declan Rice is going to cost us a lot. Yeah, and I was thinking, man, what do we do? How do we manage buying these two players, right? So, I mean, Jorginho is a good signing. Is awesome. I think he's going to do the job we need him to do, right? And we're going to touch that Premier League at the end of the season for sure.
All right. Well, listen, thank you very much for your call, man. I really appreciate that. Yes, and putting Cecil in his place is right. But listen, Cecil, there's a lot of people agreeing with you as well. Lewis says, with a super chat, he says, another wrong purchase for a Chelsea player. This time, when Kante is available in the same position, same age, and the same position, CDM, he starts, and Jorginho was a bench warmer. I will take an injured Kante versus Jorginho. Well, we don't want no more injured players, and Kante's not available either. Forget it.
I did bring him up in that journey. When I was going away onto Manchester, remember I said he was like he's injured, but I love Kante.
Yeah. Dubi Eze says everyone getting upset about the number one target Caicedo not going through. Need to remember Basuma was once our top target from the same Brighton. Now how is he faring now? Be honest. What was Caicedo's pedigree before this season? I'll be honest with you, dude. I would have loved to see him play. I've seen him play Caicedo, and I really think he's a top player, and I think his ceiling's even higher than where he's gonna be a top player. But I'm happy. I'm happy with the signing. We've got Michael from Boston. Michael, how you doing, Mike?
Hey guys, you got me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. How are you?
All right, excellent. How you doing?
Very good.
Good. What have you made of this signing of Jorginho?
This is a great signing. This is exactly what we need. A stopgap experienced player to cover for Partey. And there's no reason why we should be spending stupid money on players we don't know anything about when we could get Jorginho in to get us the title this year. And the only point I want to make is that what Chelsea and City are doing is just a continuation of the Super League strategy, that you just throw stupid Russian and Saudi oil money at the problem, buying random alleged superstars without any team chemistry. And what Arteta and Edu are doing are contradicting that model by building a culture that's based on connection to the fans, developing young players, and really creating a team culture that we can be proud of. And I feel like what Arteta and Edu are doing is in some ways an extension of our resistance against the Super League. That money can't buy you a title the way that real team culture can. And that's why I think the Jorginho move is good. I don't mind spending a lot of money for a good player when we need to, but we shouldn't do it the way that Chelsea does, just to buy some shiny object like a Christmas present. That's not how the league is won.
I like that. I hear it. I like his perspective. I like that.
Okay, and I've got some Shakespeare for you before I go. Okay.
I love the Shakespeare.
Run it.
Okay. What I love about watching Pep talk about Arsenal now is that a year ago he was all patronizing and friendly toward Arteta, oh, I gave him a starter pack of my hand-me-downs. But now you see the fear creeping into his eyes as he realizes that he is no longer the best manager in this league. Now does he feel his title hang loose about him like a giant's robe upon a dwarfish thief.
I like this guy.
Thank you very much, man. As usual, man.
Love you guys. Talk to you soon.
Big up to Mike, man. I love those quotes.
He's saying like the grasshoppers become, the praying mantis. He's taking over. I like that guy. I like the energy. Big up.
Right, listen, we're going to do a couple of super chats, and then we got another caller there. We've got Harvey, I think, for the USA. But just before we get to Harvey, let me just do some more of these super chats because they're rattling in as well. Roland Smith says, good signing. It would be perfect if he used the garbage time, which means our two midfielders have brought the title home. Oh, yeah, he can be used on a Thursday night game as well. In Arteta, we trust. AFTV F22 says, would you rather Jorginho for 12 million or Caicedo for 85? Well, listen, I would have took Caicedo if he was available.
Yeah, I like Caicedo.
But he wasn't available. It's not even so much the money for me. Babatunde says, big up, guys. If it's not our money, then why judge players' performance on their purchase price? Players are a risk when buying. It can go either way. Lewis says, Robbie, Kante has not extended his contract as of now, and he is being linked with Liverpool. Jorginho is just another version of Diaby. Well, Kante is just coming back from injury, so there's no way you're going to go and buy an injured player, are you? So
good player, though. That
was out of the question. And it's if Kante is available. And from what I see, he wasn't available anyway. So have we got Harvey there? Let's see if we've got Harvey from the States. How you doing, Harvey?
I'm doing very well, man. How are you?
Happy with his signing?
Mixed feelings, but I think from a practicality point of view, I'm happy. From as a fan and the emotions of the game, I'm whatever about it.
That's how I feel. I'm with you there, Harv. I'm with you. It's practical. It makes sense. We entrust in Arteta.
So why are you upset then?
As a it feels disappointing. It's just,
Let me tell you something, right? Sometimes you see these big signings go, just before I get to you, Harvey.
Yeah.
Every Chelsea fan, about a year a bit ago, was jumping up and down when they signed Romelu Lukaku for a world record fee. How's that worked out? Every Arsenal fan was jumping up and down, high-fiving Nicolas Pepe. I remember I was over in France. I was going like this.
That. Yeah, I wasn't.
Yeah,
fair.
How did that work out? It's not always these big glamour signings. Sometimes it's what you need right now, the practicality of it. You know what I mean?
No, I'm with you.
It don't matter whether it's Gucci shoes or just shoes. Right now, sometimes you just need shoes on your foot to get where you're going. It don't have to be Gucci shoes. Yeah?
But we
need cover.
That was a good analogy.
We need cover, right? Last year, that is why we flopped. We did not have the cover.
Yeah.
We got the cover now. But Harvey, sorry, jumping into your conversation.
He might have frozen.
Oh, he's frozen. He's frozen. Okay, we'll get Harvey back. We'll get Harvey back. I want to big up Crispin is in the studio taking photographs. Crispin, a brilliant photographist.
Photographist? What's that word? Photographer.
Photographist. That's a new. I'll give it a new. He's so good, right? I'm giving him his own title. Photographist. Big up Crispin. Taking some pictures in the studio.
I like that one. That was a good analogy. We need shoes on. We need shoes on our foot.
We just need shoes on our foot to walk.
I know.
Yeah.
But I feel like we got just some dirty bruck up shoes. I know it's
no, but he ain't going to listen. At the end of the day, shoes, Thomas Partey, if fit, will start in all the big games.
Yeah.
Listen, if
Jorginho
keeps him out,
are you worried about it?
Then that's great for us.
Partey, Robbie, though. We saw him at City. It did look like he was, that.
I think even at the time when we saw him at City, he seemed to be holding his sort of side like that. I wasn't worried. I get more worried when they're holding sort of like their legs and their thighs, and I'm thinking, ooh, hamstring or thigh injury. So I think I think they've already said he's fine.
Yeah,
but that's the thing.
He could
at least now we're not going to be like, oh my God, our season's over. You know what I mean? At least we've got cover now, and this is what we need. Look at the, when you've got good cover. Ben White came off the other day. Tomiyasu came on. Different types of players, but no mega drop.
Yeah. What's your mindset on, some fans, listen, I'm not on this mindset, but some fans saying, why do we go for Jorginho? Why can't we just promote someone from the defence into the DM role like Jakub Kiwi or like
because Ben White, it's not the time for experimenting. We're not at the start of the season. We're in the middle of the season, moving towards the business end. We've got a chance of winning the title. Bring in someone who's an expert in that area.
Okay.
I get it. I get it with people. This Chelsea. I'm fed up with taking Chelsea signings,
Yeah.
But you know what? When they took Giroud off of us, a lot of us looked at him and thought, yeah, he's used up, he's washed up, and then he went over there and won them things.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can do the same the other way round. Melissa says, oh man, the audio cutting out was making me laugh, and Cecil was trying not to laugh. Jorginho cup-tied, says Mark Taylor. Well, no, he'd be able to play in the Europa League.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he'd be able to play in the Europa League.
Chelsea and Champions League. What's his his main attributes? Just quickly, this is what throws me. Listen, he's won so much, great experience. He's been there, whatnot, but attributes-wise, because people would say for me, I feel like Jorginho's slow on the ball. I think he's quite slow as a player as well, but Thomas Partey, quick, by the way, against United. Chasing back Anthony, very fast. Passes forward. I know Jorginho does do that many a times. Got good long range, short range passes. But what's Jorginho's like? Talk to me, Rob. Is he going to be the perfect fit to go in there and part of
Jorginho? Great passer of the ball.
Yeah.
A guy who looks after the ball very well.
Okay.
Dictates play. Just
the aggression and leadership. I think that's
leadership.
Leadership's good.
Experience. He's not as good as Thomas Partey.
No, not many are.
He's up for the physical side. He'll put a tackle in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And knows the position. And, a couple of years ago, as I said, after the Euros, he was, being nominated for the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, third in the Ballon d'Or rankings.
He's no average player, is he? I know over about the past season or so, he's not really figured much for Chelsea. But that's not always... It's hard to judge at Chelsea, isn't it? They've got so many players in their squad.
There's always chopping and changing as well, managers and stuff. I think Chelsea's quite a toxic place. But Sims dude with a super chat says, respectfully, Jorginho is an upgrade from El Neni. Now
he is.
He is, but can we not disrespect El Neni, please?
I'm not disrespecting El Neni.
It's facts. It's not a mass.
apart from what Jorginho's won, it's not a massive
gap. When was El Neni ever nominated for any Ballon d'Or or UEFA Player of the Season or anything like that?
But with the eye test, beyond like the differences are not massive between
it is massive. It is. Jorginho's a much better player than El Neni, and I love El Neni. and I respect all the stuff that El Neni does for Arsenal. But I'm sorry, we're talking about a footballer that's on another level to El Neni. That's just facts. Right? So, and he's on another level to Sambi Lokonga. Maybe Sambi Lokonga in years to come.
Yep.
But he's on another level to Sambi Lokonga. So come on, let's be real about this.
We'll see. We'll see when Jorginho's in there.
So it's a good option. It's a good option.
It's a good option. It's depth. Let's talk about just quickly as well, just some of the loan moves quickly. Lokonga, Robbie going to Palace, by the way. I think that is you've been speaking about he needs a loan deal. You've never been too harsh and critical on Lokonga, but you said, you know what, I think he needs a loan. Getting a loan in the Premier League at Crystal Palace with Vieira, I think it's going to be so good for him.
Perfect. I think almost like the perfect loan deal for him.
Yeah.
I think, it was suggested earlier on in the week that he could go on loan to Monaco. They wanted to loan him and Arsenal turned it down. And I think this is perfect. You know what I mean? You go into another Premier League team and I think it's going to be a great learning experience for him. I think this is a big moment for him as well. I think if he goes out on loan and does really, really well, he'll come back to Arsenal. He just only needs to look at, what Conor Gallagher did when he went on loan to Crystal Palace. He did really, really well, and that started to get him first team football in the Chelsea team. So this is big for Sambi Lokonga. You know what I mean? I didn't like some of the treatment he was getting the other day after that game against Man City because, he wasn't the worst player on the pitch, but then I didn't like the way he walked off that pitch. I think he's still got a lot to learn as a footballer. And he can learn this under Patrick Vieira. Patrick Vieira, of course, was a midfielder of one of the greatest ever. So, I think this is a great move for him. And Cedric going out on loan as well, it makes perfect sense. That one. Because Cedric's not getting any game time at Arsenal, so that makes perfect sense as well. I think you're right there, Cedric. I think Cedric makes complete sense. But again, Sambi Lokonga, I think at Crystal Palace, it's going to either sink or swim. It's going to be a very telling when he's there. Good side in Crystal Palace under Patrick Vieira, take him under his wing. I think I was very happy when I saw that. Put a big smile on my face seeing that loan deal to Crystal Palace, and I hope he flies and comes back. I think he might need maybe a second son, but I said that about Balogun, and Balogun's flying at the moment. Look how well he's doing. It's how and Charlie Patino as well. It's how you when you go out on that loan, how you grab that opportunity, and I'm glad to see that those players are doing that. Gear says Jorginho comes into a great side with a clear system, an attacking playing style. Jorginho's magnificent on the ball and will thrive in this team. I think so as well, but the system that we play is a way more attacking system than Chelsea with their sort of free at the back, and they played under that sort of system for a long time under Tuchel as well. I think he could thrive in our system. Listen, we're going to find out, aren't we?
We're going to have to find out because we're playing very fast and intense football at the moment. He's have to get on.
Javi said, sorry to cut you, man. Javi says thoughts and prayers to Turkish and his family. Turkish had a bereavement in his family, and our thoughts and prayers go to him. That's why you haven't seen him on today. But Turkish, we're all with you, mate. Lewis says, if the money is right, money talks, bullshit walks. Kante is available. Jorginho will not fit into Man City's B team.
No, don't. We have to see how it plays out for Arsenal. We have to sign a body. We have to sign someone. I get that, but you can't be puffing when people are saying that's no.
I am.
That's their opinion, and fair enough. Because listen, we have to wait and see. I have breath stink. No,
I beg your pardon. I'm joking. This guy's starting to get knocked out on stream.
I'm joking, man. That's all I'm. Anyway, we'll have to see. But listen, Jorginho.
Who's in Man City's B team in that? Calvin Phillips. He's not exactly pulled up trees, is he?
That's a good point.
There you go.
We'll see. We'll see him at Arsenal.
Sankafair says, I cannot see any player that can replace our top 11 right now. So Jorginho coming in is a win because we are getting him for 18 months. So not a big deal. He's better than 50% of the midfielders in the league.
Do I agree with that? I mean, I can't go through all the midfielders, but is he better than 50% of them? Again, I think this is another one. Again, we have to just wait and see. We want to see how he does at Arsenal. The fact is that Thomas Partey is going to be our main starter. That's what.
Yeah, but we know that.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's the fact. So that's good enough for me for now. Once he comes into the side, we'll see if he's up to speed. But in Mikel Arteta,
we've been there before with these things.
We've been there before. What with What do you
with
mean,
people doubting.
Yeah, of course,
You know,
of course. I've been there
signings.
as well. Yeah, of course. But
It's not always the most glamorous signings that are the best.
I'm not
ones.
always for the most glamorous signings. It's all about timing now and see how he fits in. And we have to just see how it goes. No one can really make a solid judgment until we get into this. At least we've signed someone. We've learned from last season. Again, we were left short last season. I believe that's the reason why we didn't get in top 4. But we'll have to see. Just Jorginho for me as a fan just didn't seem.
Idris says as long as he doesn't take penalties, 8 out of 10 for this window. Who takes penalties now?
No, it's a disrespect. Taking Saka off penalties for Jorginho is actually I'm sorry.
It's a wicked penalty taker, man.
Robbie.
He hardly ever
If
misses
you're a
them.
manager, you're not going to... I guarantee you, if Saka's the main penalty, you're not taking him off. If when Jorginho comes on, you're not going to be like, Saka, no.
Not straight away, but
Yeah, if he misses, then we'll have a rethink. But right now...
Jorginho's a brilliant penalty taker, man.
Yeah, 40. So he's taken 40. He scored 41 and he's missed 8, I believe, or 7. So yeah, he's converted a lot. But I don't like it.
Lee Chapman says the guy has won the Euros, the Champions League, the Europa League. How can people think that he isn't going to bring experience and a winning mentality to the dressing room, just like Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko?
He's going to have to. He's going to have to bring that. He will bring that. Of course he will. Don't look at me. I agree.
You're the one doubting him.
I
so
know
go
what
ahead.
he's won. I just don't... Listen, I understand the sign. I'm just not happy with it. It's like...
But you're not giving us you're not.
Not giving,
what
I'm
must
not
I say?
the scout for us.
You're not giving me enough good reasons why you're unhappy. You just give me I'm unhappy, but you're not giving me enough good reasons why you're unhappy.
I've given
Just like a lot of people, in this
reasons.
chat that are doubting him, and some of the people earlier about Edu out and that. And you're not
Yeah,
giving me
I'm not on
enough good reasons for your argument. That is why I am, sort of kicking back against it.
Yeah, no, I understand you kicking back. My thing is the quality of him. He's got a great experience, but I don't think he's a great DM. I don't think I think there might be better out there. I don't want to start naming names. I'm not the Arsenal scout. I've given some names in this live, but I think there's better out there. And
yeah, well, of course there's better out there. But is there better out there that was available?
That is not that's Edu's and them.
Yeah, well, exactly, and that's why they decided to go for Jorginho, because it's not just they're better out there. There's always better out there, but what's available?
But that's what they get paid to do. That's what I expect them to be bringing him in. I'm not discrediting their work, but I thought there must be someone out there better than Jorginho. But we'll see. Listen, it may.
You
I
keep
might be
repeating
right.
that, but are they available?
You do transfer. I've mentioned names throughout the live, Robbie.
That are available.
That's not my role. I'm not the Arsenal scouts. They're gonna.
Well, then stop moaning.
Must have been. There might be.
Stop moaning. Then London Nomad says the biggest worry with J5 is his lack of pace. He's gotten dribble past many times. Edu should hijack Sabitzer to further bolster the midfield. I don't think we need Sabitzer right now. What we needed was a defensive midfielder. Jorginho is a defensive midfielder, and he's very good.
Could we have paid the money for Caicedo? Could we have paid that 85 million? Could we have gone all...
Not if they're not selling him, what's the point? Pay 100 million, 200, 300 if it's not for sale.
I know. Okay. I'm hurting.
Do you remember the Mbappe thing? Remember Mbappe to Real Madrid? Mm-hmm. They thought they had him not available. Doesn't matter. They could have coughed up 500 million for him. Not available.
I hear it.
What do you do?
Me as you must understand, me right now, when I saw it from last night, seeing Caicedo and it dropped to Jorginho, it just doesn't sit right with me.
I said earlier I was at my son's football training, and my friend who's a Liverpool fan, and we were chatting about it. We were chatting about it then, and he goes, "Robbie, what do you reckon?" I said it to him then. Makes sense.
Well, the Jorginho one,
Jorginho. As soon as I heard it, I said, "You know what? Makes sense as a signing." I just don't want us to be left short with nothing. That's where I'd be screwing right now. If tonight
we hadn't signed anyone,
we hadn't signed anybody in that position, that's when I'd be really angry, because I'd be like, we can't do this again. We can't leave ourselves short. But we're not.
Would you have been that generally? So, and you're telling me you're happy. You said it makes sense. But are you generally happy? If I brought up this name last week on the way to Vans, if I brought this name up, I bet you'd have been like, nah. 100%.
No, because at that time we were going for Caicedo, and if we got Caicedo, I would have been even more happier, because I think we would have got a player in that's going to be at Arsenal for the next 5 to 10 years.
Agreed.
Right? Whereas, obviously, Jorginho's not going to be there for the next 5 to 10 years. He's probably going to be there for the next year or so. But right now, the position that we're in, with a chance to win the title, still in the Europa League, bringing in a player like him with his experience, he can cover in various positions, I'm happy with that signing. I am more happy with that signing than not. I would have been really pissed off we hadn't signed anybody. Isaac Lowe says, people saying that El Neni's better than Jorginho are mad. Ameli says, if Jorginho balls out for us, you think we may even sell him for a profit? True. Good signing. We build a 2-3-5, so he won't be alone in the midfield. Rodrigo says, not getting Rice in the summer, other clubs involved, and no bidding war. Chestnut and Tielemans on a free, and say we're going for Mbappe in the summer. I'm a bit confused by that, but I think, listen, by not going big now, hopefully it will be someone like Declan. That's what all the indications are. We're going to try and go after Declan Rice.
Yep.
Go back in for Moises Caicedo.
Maybe in the summer, yeah. Do you think there's a lot of pressure on Jorginho, Robbie at all? Or do you think there's not too much pressure from the fan base from us?
Of course, he's going to be under a lot of pressure because, I think, listen, he's coming from Chelsea.
Yep.
He's under pressure because Arsenal fans will only accept him if he hits the ground running and does some good things. If he comes in and starts bombing out, you've come from Chelsea. And the last thing we want is another Chelsea op. You know what I mean? So he's got to come in and he's got to hit the ground running. Yeah. Yeah, there's pressure. But I think he's got the capability of doing that. Arteta loves him. Remember, Arteta wanted to sign him when he was at Man City. So I think he'd have a place in the system. Jay says, counting down the deadline day with you boys. My little one, 4 months old, won't settle. Used to listening to Robbie at lunch, laugh out loud. 200 believing a Premier League win. Well, what I can say is that Arsenal won't be buying any more players this transfer window. It's today's activities are Jorginho's coming, Sammy Lokonga out on loan to Crystal Palace, and Cedric out on loan to Fulham. We won't be buying any other players apart from that. And of course, what have you made of the window? Let me ask you this, and let me ask people out there, what have you given? I want people to give me your marks out of 10 for the transfer window and why. Remember this, let me just remind you of the transfer window. We've bought in Leandro Trossard, Jakob Kivior, Jorginho.
I believe that's the free welcome videos I've done. That's it. Look at you adding more. More,
those are the three players that we bought in. What have you made of the January transfer window? It's come to an end. Give me your marks out of 10. Let me just give you a few of them that are coming in. Mo says 7. Anonymous Man says 5. Telsey Man Burkamp says 4.
No, there's not.
Boss 5. Frost says 9. Prediction says 8 out of 10. 2 says Mike Barrett. Rabona Red 5 out of 10. 6 says Predog. Quinso says 8. 9 out of 10 says Riley. Olare says 5. Borussia Germania says 7. 7.5 says Jenke. Lance Shen 7. What do you give it?
I'm gonna go. We've got some callers waiting as well, but I'm gonna go 8 because of the players that we signed.
8. After all that cussing you've been giving it an 8.
Listen to what? Oh my days, this guy. Listen, I trust in Arteta. It would have been 9 if we got Caicedo. It would have been 9. I'm very happy with the outgoings.
If it's at 8, what are you moaning about?
Listen, I don't love the Jorginho signing, but I do get it. I understand. Listen, we needed someone there. It's better, like you said, it's better than no one. But I just don't like it being Jorginho. But it doesn't mean it's a terrible sign. We've still got to wait and see if he hits the ground running. But yeah, it would have been a 9 if we got Caicedo. 8 for me because we've got Jakob Kivior, can play in multiple positions, play the left side of centre back, which Arteta wanting to address. Happy with that signing. Trossard, since he's come in, we've seen him. I think he's been great. Been very happy with that. Actually, I think Mudrik's going to be a good player anyway, but I think Trossard, Premier League proven, and he can play across the free, he can go up top. Really been happy with that. That really boosts it up. And then also seeing Lokonga go out on loan to Crystal Palace is is a really good one for me, Robbie. And Cedric as well going out, really nice. And then, listen, George, it's 8 right now. If we win the league, it's 10. But from this point on, right, if we got Caicedo, it would have been 9. But yeah, I have to knock it down to 8 because, you know, Jorginho.
Okay,
What do you rate before we bring someone in? So far, what do you rate it? You better say 10 the way how happy you are.
No, I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
You're gonna give it
Which is
lower
slightly
than me?
lower than you. Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
So what are you? Because you didn't like Jorginho, son. To be honest.
No. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5, and I'll give you the reasons why.
Go on.
I can't give it like a 8, 9 because we didn't get all of our targets, our primary targets.
Yeah.
But I'm still happy with the
what you've
window
got,
because we went and had a plan B, and so we got in Trossard, even though we didn't get Mudryk.
Yep.
And I get why we didn't get Mudryk because nobody can compete with what Chelsea were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand why we didn't get Caicedo because basically, you know, Brighton refused to sell, right? So I'm pleased with those 2 players that we bought in instead as plan Bs because sometimes you've got to go with your plan B, and we see how well plan Bs work out with Zinchenko. Yep. And bringing in a left-sided centre-back, I wasn't expecting that. I mean, we needed that because, you know, basically it's just Gabriel's the only left-sided centre-back we've got. So I thought that was a very intelligent thing to do as well. So
how you
7.5.
How though? We didn't blow the budget when it comes to getting signings. I know we didn't get our first targets. We didn't blow the budget. So surely that pushes it up for you instead of going down. You didn't get the first targets, but they didn't.
I'm saying 7.5, which is still a good mark. I'm saying that I would probably have given it if we'd have got Mudryk and Caicedo
for the prices.
I'd probably be giving it a 10 right now,
Man.
right? As an exceptional window, you know.
Fair.
But I'll give it a 7.5, which I think is good.
If we got them both at 100, it'd have been about crazy money then.
It would have been crazy money, and that's why I'd have given it a 10. I wouldn't have seen to spend that money in January ever. By the way, we've got 714 likes. Want to get it up to 1,000. So please keep liking the video. Like it if you like it, as we always say.
Like it. If you like it,
Hit 44 says, I thought we would get no one this window, so I'm hyped. Would rather have signed Mudryk and have a centre-back and midfield cover, and that's what we did. Jay says, shout out to the Ivory Coast, 7 out of 10 for this window, but I believe for the first time. Also, tell Mills she's doing a stellar job. Sky 2 says, Caicedo has only played 27 games. Ain't no way he's worth 70 million. No, it's not our money, but we need the money to do summer business. Money is infinite.
It's not infinite,
Yep. We are top against all the odds. Cecil out and get James in. Absolute waffles, as unknown. That could be James. Big up to Nicholas. Right, have we got
Harvey? I believe is waiting in the wings. Harvey, you're back. Hello.
Hey man, how you doing? I got frozen like your bank accounts.
Apologies, we had some technical issues, so apologies for that one.
No
Harvey, so are we just giving it marks out of 10, the transfer window? What would you give it?
6, 7.
6 or 7?
Yeah.
Which one?
Give it
6 or 7?
6.5, since Robbie likes to throw 0.5s out there. Honestly, the reason I bump it up just a little bit is because I wasn't expecting to get a left-sided center back to cover Gabriel. I don't think that was on anybody's mind.
No.
So to give him that cover, but also have that be a long-term option as well, I don't think that was on anybody's minds. So the fact that we secured that, I think, is a plus.
Yeah,
definitely. And what about you on the? So you were sort of touching on it before we had a little technical about Jorginho. What's your feelings on it?
So with the pros, I think that he's Premier League experienced. He has a lot of leadership as well. I think he captained Italy, if I'm not mistaken, or he was vice captain. Same thing with Chelsea. Short-term deal, which shows that he's a stopgap and that he was brought in specifically to help us push for the title, which shows that there's longer, thought ahead, and that he is probably not just going to prevent us from getting who we really want. I mean, we can move this player on 6 months from now. Year left on his contract, sell him for probably what we even got him from. So that's something that could always be considered. But I think the main reason why I got it why I understand the signing and I'm not super upset with it is because I think he's very tactically astute. If you look at Lokonga, he had the physicality, he had the pace, and I even think he had the power to be successful in the Premier League. But the reason why Odegaard was ripping into him and the reason why we as fans weren't happy with him is because he was very tactically inept. He didn't know where to position himself on the field from a defensive point of view. He didn't know where to pick up the pockets to receive the ball from the center backs or the goalkeepers and help us transition from defense into attack. And if anything, that is Jorginho's greatest strength. And so I do think that we may suffer defensively when Partey comes off, but in terms of being able to transition from defense into attack, I don't think you're going to see a drop off. And that's where, as a fan and as someone who understands how we want to play, I understand exactly why we brought it in, and I'm not upset. And I think that also him coming from Chelsea is what ruins it a little bit. Yeah. But overall, I think for how we want to play, the system isn't going to get disrupted if he plays instead of Partey.
I like that he said he's smart. I mean, there was that videos going around of Cucurella being asked who's the smartest player at Chelsea, and he said by far Jorginho, and then obviously he gets told that he's not a Chelsea player anymore, he's signed to Arsenal. But that was a great video. But he says even still, if he's not a Chelsea player, he's the smartest player. And I feel like Arteta, I know Arteta he loves that sort of player that is just very smart and into patterns of play and where to be and understanding positional play and whatnot. So I think that's probably one of the benefits of the bonuses from Jorginho. That's the one thing he says, experience. I think being a smart player is one of his biggest attributes as well. So yeah, you're right there. Big up. Thank you for that, Harv.
Yeah, man. And also, you have to look at, before we played City in the FA Cup, he said, the reason that I put certain players out there is because they deserve to start by the way that they were training. Lokonga didn't start that game. And now, while we are going for a title push, where we're short in the midfield, he decided the best thing for Lokonga right now was for him to go on loan while we're on a title push. So I think that tells you everything as well, not just in terms of how he feels about the player, in terms of how he fits into the system, but how he also probably feels about the player's character and mentality. And I think he's the kind of lad that likes to feel sorry for himself. And I think you saw that in the documentary, in that exchange between himself and Eddie. And the difference, and Arteta on Eddie specifically said, if anything, it's been my fault that he hasn't played enough because he's giving it his all in training. And he rewarded him with that big contract and said, you know what, you're going to get minutes. And honestly, what kind of mentality do you want to have if you're going to go for the Premier League title? And if you tell me, listen, Jorginho and Caicedo, there's no comparison there. But Cecil, the reality, it reminds me of a buddy of mine. When I hear you talk about Caicedo, it reminds me about a buddy of mine who's obsessing over this one girl. And he's like, bro, she's beautiful and she's smart and she's funny and she's this and she's that. And I'm like, yeah, bud, but she's not into you. So all those qualities that you're talking about are kind of irrelevant. No, they're kind of irrelevant. If she's not available, if she's not into you, and you're obsessing over all these amazing qualities, you're going to miss out on the girl who is into you, who does want to take you out, who does want your attention. Focus on the ones you can get. Yeah. And
let's hope she can get me. Hopefully, we get married to her. Let's hope it works out and we get that Premier League title and it works.
Well done, Harvey. Giving him some marriage counselling. You know what I mean? He needs that as well.
You have to look at it. It's just Neni is injured. Lokonga doesn't have the right mentality, and he seems tactically out of his depth. And Jorginho, I think he does have the right mentality. Otherwise, he wouldn't have won what he's won. He wouldn't be the leader of the teams that have won things. And he's tactically astute, and we can always move him on in 6 months and get who we really want, whether it's a Subimendi or a Rice or a Caicedo somewhere down the line, and not have to pay over the odds. So we move.
Thank you very much, Harvey. Thank you.
That.
Thank you. So, and for those words of advice, so I hope you took that in.
I don't want no relationship advice on AFT. What's going on here?
I think you need that. Thank you,
Harvey. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Harvey. Yeah, I like that analogy as well that he used there because it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
He's not available. Yeah, she's not into me.
Not available. She don't want you.
There might be a nice little Brazilian thing somewhere else.
She don't like you.
Could just tap up and could have brought in. But you know what? Jorginho it is. We'll see how it goes. But
I think we got
Dini in.
Is it Dini?
Dini, I believe. Hello. Oh, he's in his Arsenal top as well. Hello, Dini.
How you doing, Dini?
Yes, hello. Good evening. Good evening.
Where are you calling in from, Dini?
Deptford, South East London.
Nice.
Big up, South London in the house. What have you, Jorginho?
I'm happy. I'm not like Cecil. I'm happy still.
All right.
Why? Give us the reasons why.
Well, he's an experienced player. First of all, he's won. He's bringing another. It's another player that's bringing winning mentality, like Zinchenko, like Jesus, and I'm just happy that we signed him. To be honest,
leader as well. You know, leader. You know,
vice captain at Chelsea. Where he went on and won 4 games unbeaten when he was a captain at Chelsea. I know everything. Listen, I've done all the research. It just.
So why are you hating?
What is it, Cecil? What is it? What is it like? What is it?
I don't know. I think it's more. It might be just be the disappointment of. It happens though. It happened with Madrid. It might be just a disappointment of when it was linked to.
I get that. I feel
it's just a big drop. I have like PTSD of the Willian thing. Listen, it might be completely different. Like you said, he's got the mentality, but it just didn't make sense to me.
No, there are bad omens from obviously Czech Willian. I feel like David Luiz was probably the best.
He was right. Yeah, I like David Luiz.
He was best out of the bunch, but that's what it is. And I don't feel like Jorginho is going to be that type of agent. I feel like this is someone that's coming in to help win a Premier League title. And I feel like if a footballer is coming in to a team that's challenging for a title and they don't want to push for that, I got to question that footballer's mentality. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Listen, sorry to cut you, Dean. I mentioned this in the welcome video. I did say that, he hasn't won the Premier League. That's the one kind of trophy off his list that he needs to tick off. So he's going to want to come and have ambition to go and give his best and be that player. I don't know what it is. I think maybe I've just never really rated Jorginho. I think that's the main thing that sticks in the back of my mind. I just always thought he was kind of overrated, but he's here now, and we'll have to see how he does it.
But even saying he's overrated, but have you not rated him as a player at all? Is that what you're saying?
Listen, I can't disrespect what he's won. I don't know. I never really saw something that was so amazing what he does in his position. That's what it was. I thought people were just overrating him, but. We'll see how that goes.
Sometimes those are the type of the players that we need, that they're not flashy and stuff. Like someone like Gilberto Silva, they called him the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
El Neni had a lot of that as well.
Jorginho, who knows? It could be Jorginho. He could just slot in, does his job, wins a Premier League title, and we're all happy.
Yeah.
Brent D says Robbie made the same excuses for Willian and David Luiz, and what happened? Jorginho is a terrible signing. Experience doesn't mean you're good.
I would rather have experience now. I'm not saying I didn't want Caicedo, because I would have liked Caicedo, but at the end of the day, Jorginho is a very experienced player, and I feel like we can be very happy with him. Like the meltdown on Twitter today was absolutely ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. I feel like these boys, and I'm talking about Arteta and Edu now, they've definitely earned our trust over the last few years with the signings they've got. We don't need to make these big money signings to win ourselves league titles. Do you know what I mean? Man City have for example, Man City haven't done any reckless when gone buy this player, buy that player, this and no. They've identified the players that they wanted, and then they've gone for that player. If they don't feel like the price that has been quoted for Cucurella, for example. Yeah. They wanted to buy Cucurella. They had a price for him. They didn't want to go over that price, and then Chelsea came in for him. Do you know what I mean? They don't just throw money. They make a decision and they go for their player. And I feel like that's what Arsenal are doing. We want a Caicedo, we can't get him now. We want a Declan Rice, we can't get him now. Zubimendi is a player that we wanted, but we can't get him now because he wants to stay until the summer. So who else do we get? For me personally, I wouldn't have minded Ndidi from Leicester City. I wouldn't have minded Ndidi from Leicester City, but we didn't go in for Ndidi.
Yeah, Man Out of Time says, absolute madness. The short-term memory operations here. Jorginho is a piss-poor signing. People upping him should go and support Burnley or Stoke, he says.
You know what? That's
the meltdown. That's the meltdown online, boy.
Yeah, but some of these fans that are saying that probably said the same thing about Ramsdale.
True. Very true.
When are we I say think before you speak sometimes, because some people could be looking silly. I could be looking silly by the end.
I could be looking silly as well. And we all could. This is how it is. I'm just a fan, and my initial gut feeling, that's what came across on Jorginho. Listen, I respect what he's won, and listen, let's hope he gets us the Premier League title. But that's how I felt as a fan when I first saw it. So yeah.
Well, listen, thank you very much for your call, man. Really appreciate
that. Everyone. Good evening. Trust the process. We're all good.
Trust the process. Blessings, man.
Come on, G.
Nicholas says with a super chat, what happened to the Fresneda deal? Fresneda staying put. Maybe that's going to be something we can explore again in January. James says Arsenal exploring McAllister. Maybe that might be one. Sorry, not January, in the summer. Maybe that might be one we go back for in the summer. Matt Lowe says, love how pragmatic we're being. All three players can help us, and we didn't overpay out of desperation. Edu has Riz.
Has El Riz.
El Riz.
Yeah, he has, yeah.
And I did that one again, that one before from Brent D. We got Kian.
Hey.
Kian.
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 Yeah.
How you doing,
I'm not
Kian?
too
You all
bad.
right?
And yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. Where you from?
Irish lad.
I'm from Ireland originally, but I live in Manchester.
Nice.
Manchester. All right, big up yourself, man.
Yeah.
Jorginho, happy?
To be honest, I'm probably in the same boat as you. Like, kind of looking at it, I think we've gone for an alternative. For obviously, Caicedo was not really there really for us. Brighton want to see themselves fighting for potentially to get into Europe, and they don't feel comfortable selling him now. I do think in the summer potentially we could go back in and get him a lot cheaper than what we've been quoted, because if Brighton are in there, the market with the more players that become available to us, potentially the price might go down because we could get alternatives for cheaper.
But are you happy with what we've got now?
Be honest.
I think what Jorginho brings in, he brings in experience, which is something probably we need to win a trophy. I think it could be better, really, for what I want, but like I would probably I'd rate it about a 7.5 kind of for a transfer window in general. We've brought in what we needed to do compared to say last year we weren't in this situation. We didn't bring in the players we needed. As for now, we have brought in the players that we need, really, I think, and can help us get over the line.
Yeah. Was he happy? I think he said that's quite a political. I like how he did that. It's quite like a football answer. It's like over this post-match press conference. Yeah, are you happy? I think it's what we needed.
Actually, I mean, the question what I would like to ask you is this, right? Now we know deadline day, as we're not going to get any more signings in for the end of deadline day. So we know what our squad is now from now till the end of the season. Can we win the league with this squad?
I think we can. I think you look at the squad there. We have quite a mixed squad. We've got a young squad. I think now we're not in as many competitions. We're in the Europa League and we're in the Premier League. I think because now we've more rest time for players. Yeah, some weeks we might be playing Thursday, Sunday. And other weeks we might just have one game a week, which I think might help with that. See, if we had the FA Cup and we had, say, if we were still in the Carabao Cup and that, the fixture congestion would be a lot worse. But I think now that we've only two things to focus on, I think we can. I think with the squad we have there, and I think what people don't see in Jorginho is he brings in that experience that he's won stuff. Like he's not just that he's in there. He's actually won trophies. Yeah, he hasn't won a Premier League, but he's won European trophies. He's won obviously the Euros with Italy and that. So he brings in that added experience in there of being successful, like what Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus did.
Okay, well listen, thank you very much for your contribution.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. There's some very good points he makes there as well. Paul J with a super chat says it sends an important message to clubs for future transfer negotiations. We don't mess around in bidding wars, clearly. You either take our offers or we move. And Idris says our starting 11 are excellent. What we needed was cover, and I think we now got good cover in every position with a max of 26 games left. Well done.
I liked your question there, Rob. Have we got the
well, that's what it's all about.
That's
what it's all about, isn't it?
Can we win
at the end of the day,
with the squad we have?
For me, what the transfer window all about in January is, can we get in some reinforcements that's going to be then put us in a position where we can win the league?
Yeah.
And I think we've got in good reinforcements.
Yeah, I think.
It would have been brilliant if we would have got in Caicedo.
It'd been lovely for now and the future that we mentioned before. But I think what Kian was saying now, I did enjoy that he said about, there is fixture congestion at the end of the day. Europa League, Thursday, Sunday, you're going to need players. That's why I marked it quite high in with an 8, because we got cover regardless. We got players that can cover over, and we didn't spend crazy money, and we got players out that need to get out. Just a shame we didn't get that big signing. But
okay, some more super chats coming in. Krishna says, don't think we should disregard the quality of coaching Arteta and the team it's still. I don't see why Jorginho can't be coached to be an immense addition to our squad. especially with his winning mentality. Black Caesar 83 says comments about previous ex-Chelsea recruits are unfair and lack context. In my opinion, Willian was the only flop. Also, unlike the others, Jorginho is coming here for depth and cover, not to be a key player. That's a great point, because that is true.
Willian was the only one. Czech was alright in the end. No, but he was right in the end. Yeah, he was alright. But David Luiz, I did like David Luiz.
That's a good point he makes, isn't it? Because all the other players who came were coming to be key players. Whereas, Jorginho's coming not to be the starting 11. He's coming for depth.
Agreed.
You never, as I said it, if he becomes a starting 11 player, then that means he's playing out of his skin.
Be interesting one to see if he.
Okay, we're going to take a few more callers. I think we've got Stephen and Alexander.
Oh, Alexander, hello.
How you doing?
Hey, Don Robbie, it's a pleasure to finally get to talk to you.
Good to talk to you, man.
So what, not me, no? All right, cool, I'll leave.
My main man says what's up. Just don't be so sensitive. Don't be so sensitive.
Nah, it's all good, man. As long as you say you're not happy with Jorginho. I'm joking. Talk to me, man. What's going on?
What do you think about the Jorginho signing?
I think it's a good signing. We knew we needed another midfielder. I think it was more important than the Trossard signing that we get another midfielder. And it's not like he's a bad player. He's won stuff and he's hungry to win more. So I think it's a good signing for us and a signing that we needed.
What about you?
Well, the biggest joke that has come out of the Jorginho signing is that when Todd Bowley had that we were getting ready to sign Jorginho, he was trying to see how he could hijack the deal, even though Jorginho was already at Chelsea.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was brilliant.
That was quality.
I thought that was a pretty good one. You know what, Robbie? When we said we are trusting the process, this includes the process. This is part of the process. You can't just choose what part of the process you're going to trust. I'll be honest with you. Both the Mudryk and even the Caicedo deals, I was a little shaky about, because I was just like, yes, it's not my money, but I knew that it's a lot of money, and will that destabilize the team? For instance, you get this Caicedo guy coming, and all of a sudden he's making much more money than a lot of the other players who've put Arsenal back on the map. Do they now start getting a little shaky and like, hey, starting looking at each other's pockets and stuff like that, So, and to be quite honest, the track record for both of these players is not that long. You're talking about 26, 27 games for both of them, one in the Ukrainian league and the other one in the Premier League. So, I was not quite sure about either one of the players. And if they were signed, again, I'm all in and I'll have trusted the process. But I thought it was a lot of money for both of these young players.
Okay.
It's not your money, as Cecil said.
It's not your money. It's true.
But if it affects the future of my club, then hey, if it affects purchases, then of course I'm going to be worried.
Okay, let me ask you quickly. What do you rate the window? I don't know if what have you rated this window so far out of 10? Both of you.
For me, I'd probably give it a 10 because we addressed all our needs. We addressed the attack, the midfield, and the defense. And we've signed good players. We've signed Trossard and Jorginho, who are both Premier League proven players, and they're hungry to win more stuff. And everyone's sucking off this Jorginho signing, but he has quality. I think he can step in for a game or two. Hopefully Thomas Partey doesn't get injured. But I'm feeling a lot more confident rather than Lokonga coming in. And nothing against Lokonga, he's tried, but I feel like it's almost unfair to compare him to Thomas Partey, who's doing unbelievable things in the midfield. So a 10 out of 10 business for me, a lot better than last year.
10 out of 10. What about you, Alexander?
That's youthful exuberance. That's what I'll call that. I don't think it's a 10, but I think my son makes some good points.
Definitely.
We wanted to strengthen all the key areas, and if you look at it, we really did, just like he said. When the other thing that you have to look at is that we're sending Sambi out, and I'm hoping that the experience that Sambi gets and Marquinhos as well, those experiences are really going to help with the future. So, a solid 8 out of 10 for me for this window. We didn't just buy just for the sake of buying, and we didn't get forced into buying stuff that we didn't want. There's a plan, and with that plan, it means that the club is definitely on sure footing. So I'll give us a solid 8 out of 10.
Okay, well, listen, thank you very much. I really appreciate your contributions, guys. And hopefully we can go and win this thing this season.
Thanks, Robbie. We're still a little mad at you for not coming to Baltimore because we were at the stadium hoping
Next time, man. Next time we'll be in Baltimore, man.
Yeah. All right.
Take care. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Brilliant.
Just quickly, yeah, we didn't mention that. Marquinhos to Norwich. On loan as well, Marquinhos on loan to Norwich as well.
Yeah,
Another good move, a really
Great
good move. Young, he's going to probably hopefully get some first team experience there as well. Big him up.
No, great move. We got some more callers, right? We want to try and see if we can fit them all in before the end of the show, right? So let's try and fit them in. I want to get as many as you guys on as possible. I think we've got about 4 more. Let's get Chris. How you doing, Chris?
Yeah, I'm good. Yourselves?
Yeah, I'm good. I love that. London is red, mate. Definitely red, not blue. Right, and that's why Jorginho has come over to the red off. Are you happy about that?
Sorry to disappoint you, but I agree a lot more with Cecil.
My man.
All right, give us your reasons.
I'm about 60-40, 60% yes, 40% no. It's just similar to what Cecil's saying. We've had so many signings now from Chelsea, all of them Asian players. None of them really hit it off. All of them have come at the peaks and always just dropped off. Okay, David Luiz, he was okay. He wasn't at his best. All of them just kind of went on decline at Arsenal. No fault for their own, but just at the age they was at.
What do you think of this guy, the last guy, that Black Seas 83, what he said? Where he said that we're being a bit unfair because he said for him, William was the only flop. And then he said the other thing you've got to consider is Jorginho's not been bought in to be a first-team player. He's brought in a sort of backup.
That's a saving grace.
Whereas, David Luiz brought in to be first team player. Willian brought in to be a first team player, and they flopped. I
get that. I was going to ask similar question to Cecil. Would he be disappointed if he came in on loan? Because I feel like if he came in on loan, that's calm. I ain't got no issue with that.
With who?
It's no
Jorginho.
risk, zero risk, and high rewards.
But he has come in only on a short-term contract
and little money. Is that it? I hear. Do you know what? I hear it. I think the saving grace. I did say then the saving grace. What Black Caesar says in that super chat is he's not coming in as the main starter, which it gives me a little bit more confidence in this. It just, like I said, I think we have the same thing. It just doesn't feel, I wasn't overwhelmed by this signing. It wasn't like I just thought. Oh,
I mean, they've had all. Sorry to interrupt. They've had all this time. Like they were trying to get Mudryk for 2 weeks, and similar situation with Brian. They were saying, "Oh, he's not for sale." Okay, yeah, he is for sale for this price, and also just kept knowing him the bid, knowing another. So instead of wasting time with Mudryk, I felt like that could have been time better spent getting a Caicedo or some like Ibrahim Sonadre, someone I've been shouting out for years now, or someone else that maybe we don't even know about. Like someone from the 3rd division of Brazil, similar to Martinelli or something like that.
Yeah, no, you make a good point. I mean, like obviously Liverpool signed Cody Gakpo before the window even opened. Like that they could have done business. Well, listen, I'm not an agent. I don't know how fast it can be done, but it'd be nice if they, like you said, don't prioritise over Mudryk and maybe.
I think with this Caicedo thing, I don't think they would have went for Caicedo had it have not been the fact that we got this injury to
El
Neni, which we knew about now just over a week or so ago. And that's what then made them, say, right, we need to get a defensive midfielder. Let's just get someone
but they wanted
like how we haven't done the
midfielder
Mudryk money. Let's bring forward our plans from the summer. So,
to be honest, I feel like Caicedo probably would have been a bit more of a risk than Jorginho. I feel like Jorginho, you're going to go for him for more stability than Caicedo. Caicedo's more for future, higher prospects. But for right now, I'd say Jorginho. So that's why I'm a bit iffy about it. I'm not too sure.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you very much. We've got some more callers on. So I appreciate you. Appreciate it today, Steve. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
No worries.
Cheers, Chris.
We're moving to Chris. We've got Chris there. Oh, sorry, that was Chris. Sorry, apologies, Chris. Big up to you, Chris. Thanks for your call. We got Gosha. Gosha, how you doing?
What's up, guys? I'm good.
What would you give it out of 10, the January transfer window for Arsenal?
I think 8.
8?
8.
Are you happy then?
Yeah, well,
happy with
it don't sound like a happy 8.
That sounds like 8.
Okay.
I think 8.
So when I first heard these rumors, I was so angry because I was thinking that we're gonna spend like 40 million or 50 million to buy him. But this morning I wake up, I saw it's only 10 million. I'm happy because he's not there.
It's not your money. What Cecil said.
But I hear
I don't agree with Cecil on that. It's our money.
I mean, some of it contributes. I mean, it contributes to some of it. To be fair, I pay a bit, but yeah, it's not our money.
But 10 million, you think? No. For 10 million pounds.
If we don't overspend in this transfer, in the summer we can use the rest of the money. So it's our money. We have a limit. If we use a little, we won't use the all. We will use it in the next transfer.
All right, and then let me ask that question that I just asked the last guy, or sorry, I think the previous guy to him. Now that you know what the squad is, this is it. Window's going to shut in about just over an hour's time. We're not bringing no one else in. You know what the squad is now, from now till the end of the season. Is it good enough to win the league?
Even without Jorginho, we're good enough to win this league.
I like that. I like that energy. I like
that. Well, listen, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your call. Appreciate that, Gosha.
Thank you, guys. He's right. If Thomas Partey doesn't get injured, with this side, we could win this league. But that's if Thomas Partey stays fit.
But that's what we've brought the cover in. That's what the whole point of the squad.
I like what he said. I keep saying it's not our money, and he's saying, "Oh yeah, but it is our money later on." But
if we win it is our money.
But if we win the Premier League and win the Champions League, that's a big money injection as well. That goes further on. Do you know what I mean? Anyway,
all right. Who we got up next?
There on the wall of AFTV and on.
Crispy
goodness.
Guys? Thank you. It's
Crispy Goodness.
Yeah.
What name is that? Crispy Goodness. Crispy Goodness.
Old nickname.
Okay, I like that.
Is this window being Crispy Goodness or what? Talk to me.
I'll speak to you as an Ecuadorian who's been watching a lot of Ecuadorian soccer, especially with the national team and
Caicedo.
Because a lot of the time that we've heard about Caicedo, it's always been what credentials does he have, what is his prestiges that he comes with. And a lot of people forget he won the Copa Libertadores with Independiente Valle with the under 20s. Hincapié, a lot of the big talents that Ecuador is putting out into Europe, they all are coming from the same academy there. But hearing the news about Jorginho, it's kind of like a bitter taste in your mouth because me personally, as an Ecuadorian, I would love to see one of my own people go and play in a big team, especially like Arsenal, in the way that we're playing right now. He would emulate perfectly how Partey would be playing. But with Jorginho, I think it's going to be the first mistake he gets on is everyone's going to go on him. So he has to perform. There's a pressure in to perform. And if he can't perform at this time, then the fans aren't going to back him the way that maybe another signing would go. I think it would be
continue on.
I think overall it would be a 6. I think a 6 would be at best because if it weren't for the whole Caicedo transfer saga, us getting Jorginho, then because Trossard, proven player, Brighton.
Yeah.
Kian, we still have to wait to see who he is, and that takes time. We still don't know who he is yet. But with Jorginho, it's experience. Okay, I can see that. The price, that's a bit better. But now it puts pressure on Edu and the board to actually go big this summer and get either Caicedo, get Declan Rice, or even someone like the guy from Real Sociedad.
Zibameni. Yeah.
I want to ask you, obviously, you coming from Ecuador, how big a news was that over there, the whole saga with Caicedo being linked with Arsenal? He issued this statement, didn't he, that he put out that didn't seem to go down very well at all with Brighton. And I've been told that Arsenal will try and go back for him in the summer. But how big a news was it over there in Ecuador regarding Caicedo?
It was big. It was a big news because the last big Ecuadorian that actually went to a prestigious club and actually went on to win titles was Antonio Valencia. He was the last one, and that was how many years ago was that? So, especially in this new generation, you saw Robbie at the World Cup, even though I don't know why you disrespected us, didn't give us any hope for the group stages.
Yeah, why did you do that? Why did you do that,
I saw the review. You said, Ecuador would be third place. They win it. I think, first of all, we would have been a better game against England. But because this Ecuador team that's being presented right now at the World Cup, and for 2 years going into the Copa America. This is our golden generation of young players. Players such as Plata, Hincapié, Estupiñán, Sarmiento, Caicedo, especially Caicedo. Caicedo is the engine that runs the whole train. So without him, if the transfer would have gone through, then we would have kind of hoped that he would emulate Partey's play and bring that experience and that prestige into the team to elevate us from, a small CONMEBOL team to a big powerhouse, a team that would be considered underdogs. But it was big. It was big. And hopefully they go big for him in the summer. And I think that should be probably the main concern of their next transfer window.
I'll tell you what, as an Arsenal fan living in Ecuador, if you get one Caicedo and you're going to be buzzing, aren't you? That's going to be brilliant for you.
I was buzzing. Again, me and my father, we watched Arsenal together. We watched the games. And when we heard the news about Caicedo going out, it was something like, hey, this could happen. I could see them molding the fit of him, and then him bringing that experience into the team. It would help elevate the team a lot. But Brian didn't want to sell him. They're going to bring in more other talents. So hopefully, Brian know what they're doing. So hopefully they can ease up on us and give us the transfer into the summer.
Yeah, well, listen, it's been great to hear from you, man. And I'm sorry that I didn't diss Ecuador. I said I thought they'd finish third, but they did better than that. And you've got some great players.
I was forgetting.
You've got some great players, and hopefully we can get him in the summer. And then when we get him in the summer, we've got to get you back on. Well, feel free to come on at any time, but in particular in the summer, we've got to get you to come in and give us a full rundown on him. So thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.
Thank you very much.
That was amazing.
That's brilliant.
See this fans on, amazing, Robbie.
It's amazing to get fans from all over the world. They're Intel. They're from Ecuador. Who we got next? Lucas. How you doing, Lucas?
Hi guys. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, man. I'm really good. What would you give the window out of 10 for Arsenal?
If I'm rating the individual players, I'd give Trossard an 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
I'd give Kivor a 6 out of 10 because we don't know too much about him yet. And Jorginho a 6 out of 10. So I'd give it a 7 overall.
Okay, 7 overall.
Individually, that was a good.
That's not bad. And do you think now we've got a squad in place that can go all the way?
I think we had a squad in place with Trossard definitely to go all the way. The thing with Jorginho, and I'm not convinced 100% yet about him, is because if Partey or Xhaka gets injured, the way we play, I just don't think he has the legs in the midfield. So an injury to one of those players could be so key, especially going into the run-in, March, April, May sort of time. I really like Trossard as a sign-in. I prefer him to Mudryk because we've seen him in the Premier League. We know exactly what he can offer.
Yeah.
But this Jorginho signing it's
underwhelming.
It's underwhelming.
In fact, I hear it.
I can hear it in his voice. He ain't happy.
I get it.
It's because, I'll tell you why, it's because of the Rice and especially the Caicedo links. We sort of, this is going to be our big move in the January window. We sort of G ourselves up for it, 70, 80 million or whatever, and then that goes to how it went down. And Jorginho, it seems to me like I've shades of Willian, of Petr Cech, of David Luiz again. I'm not convinced of any of these Chelsea players that come to us. That being said, Arteta and Edu have 100% earned the right to sign whatever players they want to sign. And now he's an Arsenal player, we have to get behind him 100% because 100%. Even if he's a squad player, bit part player, come on for the last 20 minutes, whatever, we need to support him because we're all coming now for something a lot bigger than petty Chelsea arguments and all this. We can leave that to them. We're going for a Premier League title, which hasn't happened in ages. So I'm still excited, but I'm nervous about the Jorginho signing. Yeah.
Javi with the comment says she's not into you. ... He's in reference to when it says me saying, you love that girl, but she's not into you. So we have to go for the one that's showing us the love and all that. But I'm with you, bro. Honestly, I'm with you, man. Everything you said there, I hear it.
Thank you very much. And Mariner says that's a pretty smart kid, and you are. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, I agree with what was said there.
Yeah. Have we got anyone else up? Cape. All right, let's get Cape on. How you doing, Cape?
How you doing, guys?
Good to see you again.
Where are you from?
I'm from Southeast London.
Southeast London in the building.
Come on, South
bro.
London is where it's at.
South.
Okay, but I remember she came on with me in Turkish for Live as well, so big up, good to see you again, my friend.
Happy?
Nice to see you.
No.
Every fan, I'm getting cooked in the comments, yeah. And as soon as we ask the fans, are you happy? They're like, yeah.
No. I'm happy still. I'll tell you why.
You don't look it.
Yeah, I know you don't believe me. I know you don't believe me.
Man, when you went like this, you know, you went. Yeah, I'm happy still.
Look here.
I'm happy still.
Let me say it like this, yeah.
Go on, talk to us.
Remember what I said before, like in terms like when at the time when we last spoke, I think that's when we signed Trossard.
Yes, it was.
And I said at the time that like I feel like it was a smart signing because I feel like we shouldn't have distorted our spending and our long-term spending.
Right.
I mean, long-term spending because of like the title race right now. Mm-hmm. Obviously, in January, it's very hard to attain players. Like, it's a difficult market. And you can see, like, with Brighton trying to charge 80, 90 million for Cancelo, they're probably not going to get more than 50 million in the summer.
Mm.
But I feel for us, Jorginho is an experienced Premier League player. He's very good at playing the sixth position as well. He's very comfortable on the ball. And I feel like, as well, everyone's talking about his defensive deficiencies, but if you look at his numbers, they're not that bad.
Yeah.
And also, people are talking about Partey because we saw one sprint from him against Anthony. We're all now believing that he's like the fastest guy.
Nah, he's got pace, man. Nah, he's got. Don't do that, though.
No, I'm not saying Partey don't have pace, but I'm saying before that time, we didn't see Partey really have to cover spaces with like mad pace. So why do you now believe Jorginho is going to have to do the same thing? If he gets inserted to our first team, he's very comfortable on the ball.
Mm.
Yeah,
some can say he's on par with Partey. You can't say like you can't argue it because if he puts into our system and the team is flourishing, it's not going to now bring down the level.
I'm going to be really interested to see what he is like in our system.
Yeah, same.
You know, because he's been playing for Chelsea. Chelsea play a very different system to us. For a very long time, they've been playing that sort of three at the back. I'm going to be really interested to see how he plays into our system and if the system really suits him and he really flourishes within that system. Because I really do think technically he's a really top player. Technically. And so is Thomas Partey, technically a really top player. You know these players that press resistant, really good on the ball. You know what I mean? It just keeps things ticking along in that midfield. And basically that's what you need when you're in how Arsenal play at the moment with our structure. It's that player who can keep it ticking along, give the ball to Odegaard, make sure you get that ball into Odegaard, Saka.
Yeah, progressive passing.
Yeah, get it into Martinelli, get the ball to Xhaka.
Yep.
And then it's going to be very interesting. And as I said to you, Cecil, I'm more than, if there's a game on a Thursday night in the Europa League, I know, having Jorginho in there, I know I can rest Partey for the weekend. Because what I want Partey for is for that game on the Sunday. I want him rested up and ready for that game. So I personally, that's what I think is a good signing.
It's going to be interesting to see when him be there. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing him play in that position. We'll have to find out when it comes to them Europa League games. But be more conviction next time, Cape. Because when we asked you, bro, you said you didn't even say a number. You just paused. But anyway, go on.
And I feel like also, like someone said, I think Paul Merson said this on Sky Sports, like because he's experienced when he comes on in games where we're winning like 2-0. Like you see, like we're a bit gun ho. We play 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, we want to still go and
game,
score. Yeah,
like all through the game. But he can come on, and you saw, for example, when we played Man City, and they went up 1-0, and there was like a 10-minute period where they just controlled the game, and we didn't touch the ball. And it's like those moments like that in our games when we're winning 2-0, and we just have to control the game and kill the opponent and get back to where they're not getting shots on our goal. Jorginho can know when to speed it up and when to slow it down.
Yeah.
And I feel like giving him a 1.5 year deal doesn't block us getting a Rice or Cancelo in the summer.
Yeah, no, great points. Listen, thank you very much.
Cheers, Kate, man.
Really appreciate Kate, man. He makes some really good points there.
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously got someone in the wings just waiting. Just to remind everyone that of what's going on. Jorginho signed the last sign of the transfer window this January. We saw some players leave on loan. Lokonga's on loan. We saw Marquinhos go to Norwich. Lokonga's gone to Crystal Palace, and Cedric to Fulham. I'm just going to give you a little reminder and update on that. And obviously we signed Trossard, Jakob Kivior, and Jorginho here at Arsenal.
Less than an hour left, and then the window is going to close.
Hour left.
Right. We got Matt Laguna from Toronto, Canada, on the line. How you doing, Matt?
Good to see you again, Matt.
Good. How are you guys? Good to see you guys again.
Are you good? Are you good with these signings?
No, I'm good. I'm content, to be honest. I mean, it's like you guys have been kind of saying, and some of the other callers have been saying. It's a stopgap, right? I mean, I rather spend 10 mil on Jorginho for an 18-month contract, right, than blow all the funds on one player and then potentially not be able to get Declan Rice. Because I personally want Declan Rice. I think he'd be perfect for us.
Too.
So I rather spend that in the summer and pursue him, who's more proven in the Premier League. Like if you guys have been saying too, like Caicedo, less than 50 Premier League appearances, right? Like to warrant 80 million, for example, like that's too much for me for his experience. Even Mudryk for less than 50 career appearances, same price, yeah, right? So I just feel we need to sign someone more proven to warrant that type of money.
I'll tell you one thing what I was thinking today, right? If we was to win the Premier League, right, and get in the Champions League as well, what an exciting summer it will be for transfers, because number one, we become a even more attractive proposition to players. Because there's been a lot of players over the years who are like, yeah, I'd like to go to Arsenal because of Thierry Henry.
I want Champions League football.
We haven't had Champions League football.
Yeah.
So they'd be like, yeah, I like to go there because Thierry Henry used to play there. I supported him as a kid. But now, all of a sudden, we'll be back. So he'd be like, I want to go to Arsenal because they're a winning team. They won the league. I think, I could go there and possibly maybe win the Champions League. And then all of a sudden, you start to get a higher grade of player joining your football club, you know what I mean? And it will be really exciting for the summer, you know what I mean? Declan Rice, Caicedo, all of these guys will come back into the conversation, and we know that the money is there because, we didn't spend the big, we were going to go spend 60, 70 million on Caicedo. We've only spent 10 now on, Jorginho. That means there's 60 million there waiting, at least. Plus, if we get the Champions League money,
cash injection,
we can go big again. We can go big again in the summer. All of a sudden, we're starting to build a real powerhouse of a team. It's exciting times to be an Arsenal fan.
If you're a player, if you're a player looking at Arsenal, think about, Robbie, the football we're playing. If you're a player, you'd want to get involved in that. Going to the Emirates, look how rocking the Emirates are, having a team, a fan base behind you like that. If you're a young player or a top player, you want to be involved in that project. Listen, I pray we go and do it this season.
It's exciting times, isn't it?
It's exciting times.
No, it definitely is, right? Like we're really attractive right now, right? Like we're playing some great football. We have a great young coach who's showing the philosophy, right? Like now it's like a blueprint. Everybody's saying we're the blueprint now, right? And it's all thanks to Mikel Arteta and co, right? Edu as well, right? So, I mean, we're definitely attractive, and we'll be able to get those players for sure in the summer, no doubt. Especially like you guys just said with Champions League and stuff, right? So, I'm looking forward to that. So, I mean. Again, like I said earlier, I rather spend the 10 mil on Jorginho now, who, again, he's an experienced player, like you guys mentioned, right? He's won stuff. He can bring some of that experience to us, right? So, I mean, at first I was a bit sour, I'm not going to lie, but like I kind of agree with Cecil there, but I agree with Robbie as well, where it's like for that price, we need someone. We can't just go into the remainder of the season, resting our morals on Partey and Xhaka being fit, right? We need someone, right? So I'm content with it, and like I said, I rather spend that on him now and then potentially get that Champions League money and then go and add a Declan Rice, add a Zubamendi as well. I would love either or, to be honest. Go sign Zubamendi and then bring on a Declan Rice as well, or another 8 to replace Xhaka in the future, right? I know Zubamendi and Declan Rice are kind of similar, but I know Rice can play in that 8 role as well, right? So, I mean, yeah, we're very attractive. So I have no doubt in my mind we got to keep going. And if I may add as well, like some people criticizing, Arteta and Edu for, not going out and getting that big prize, right? And just, it's pretty ridiculous in my opinion. We've trusted this process to get to this point where we are now. So Arteta wanted Jorginho at City. If he wants him now for us and he sees us as that piece to kind of get us over the line, we should all just back him, just support him. Some of the comments online I've been seeing about Jorginho, he's washed, he's a double agent and all that stuff. That to me is pathetic, and I personally think that any guy that puts on that shirt back there on the wall there has to be 110%, put the faith in, the trust in, and just hope that he delivers the goods.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Great words. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, guys.
No, what do you think? Do you think people are like? Do you think, the Jorginho reaction is online as me, how I feel, and then you take a deep breath, you wait a little bit, and then they come more to.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
I think
you get that immediate reaction, where it's like, oh God, another Chelsea player.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we? But then,
Jorginho,
then you take
really?
a step back, and when you really, when you really start to think about it, you start to think, well, hold on, this makes sense actually. And like people keep saying, he's been brought in as the backup. He's not the main guy. So we've got a couple more callers. Obi. How you doing, Obi?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
How you doing?
Very good.
How you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. You happy with these signings?
I'm gonna be 100% honest. I'm more than happy with these signings. I think people talking about Jorginho. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't like Jorginho, but I know he's the type of player we can bring on in the 70th minute when we're winning 2-0 and we're trying to keep a clean sheet. We don't need to always go for these big signings every January. I mean, look at last year. We missed out on top 4 because we didn't sign anyone at all. So bringing these type of players in this January can get us to where we want to be, whether that be last year get into the Champions League or this year compete for the Premier League.
Do you think the squad has? Sorry, Robbie. Do you think the squad is strong enough then to get the Premier League title this season now?
100%, but it's like every player and even the manager keeps saying we just have to take it game by game. We brought in the replacements now, so I don't see how we don't get it. I mean, who have we played that really like gave us a test besides the Man United and Liverpool and Man City? Everyone else in the league is really not up to our level right now. I think when Chelsea comes plays us home, we beat them, and with any other team.
Listen, when I really think about Jorginho, I keep thinking about the experience that he's going to bring, that, and also the winning mentality, which that might be really important going into the end game of this season. When it starts to get down to the crunch of it, having somebody like that in your dressing room that's been there, done that, won things, that's going to be invaluable, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we have such a young squad. We need these type of experienced players on our team eventually. We either get them in the summer or we got them now, which I'm happy about that. We got players like Jorginho now just so we could keep pushing. And even somebody like Lukonga, he came in and he really isn't up to the Arsenal standard, which is why we shipped him out. So I'd rather have Jorginho in his place, a guy with experience and knows what needs to be done to get the job completed. And I mean, we know Arteta and how he likes to coach his players. We saw what happened with Aubameyang when he stopped following directions or was not showing that he can complete the task. We got rid of him. So I'm not worried, and I'm just happy that we brought in an experienced player.
All right, Obi, thank you very much, man. Thank you for your contribution. He makes a lot of sense there, Obi, as well.
Do you feel like it feels like a Robbie, for you, like not a complete turnaround, but obviously Caicedo, 21 years of age, athletic, powerful, young, then to go around to Jorginho. Do you think it's a complete 360, or do you think this was part of? It was definitely a target that Arteta had, because for me, the age difference.
No, listen, Caicedo is the target. Was the guy they wanted, right?
Yeah.
They were willing to spend a lot of money, and a guy Aaron says offered 70 million for Caicedo. The future wouldn't pay the extra 10 million to get it over the line. 12 million for Jorginho, who's 3 and 4 months. Why not use the money and get Caicedo? Then you have both by the summer, because Caicedo did not, well, he wanted to come, but Brighton didn't want to let him go. So we had no option than to go for Jorginho, because we need the cover, needs must. Now for me, Caicedo's the guy they wanted.
Yep.
He fits the profile of everything that Mikel Arteta is trying to do. He's young, 21. He's got years and years and years ahead of him. He'd be an Arsenal player for years. But we can't get him yet. Hopefully they'll go back in for him in the summer. But for right now, what we need, Jorginho, experience, comes in, short term. I don't see that problem with it.
Back up.
Tono Blake says Weston McKennie, 10 million more and 4 times the longevity. Problem is, he's not a defensive midfielder. Let's get Elliot. How are we doing, Elliot?
How are you? How are you, Robbie? How are you, Cecil? How are you guys doing?
Very good, very good. How are you? With this
I am
news?
well. I am well. But again, Robbie, this is going to be the one call where you're not going to get the lump sum share. I'm on Cecil's side this time.
Hey, I think a lot of fans are. They're still a bit. But anyway, go on, talk to us.
Indeed. Here's the thing, Robbie, that you're not seeing. Now, again, as you say, Jorginho's a warm body. Jorginho's a guy who can fill in for us adequately in the midweek, especially as we go into Europa League. But let's not disguise the fact that this man has been dribbled past by more midfielders than many others in the Premier League. This man's mobility is this man has mobility of and the turning radius of a cruise ship. This man can't run. This man is going to take away from our style of play, quite simply, and we're going to he's not going to add to it. He's going to have to take away from us in terms of our adequacy, in terms of our style of play, because quite simply we're going to have to accommodate him. He's going to need crutches, those being Zinni and Xhaka, to be fair and frank. And it shows also that we are, how should I say this, pushovers in the transfer market. When you see the likes of Enzo Fernandez, if you see the likes of João Felix, if you see the likes of Michaela Mudryk heading over to one team in one transfer window, it dwarfs the size of Arsenal in the eyes of Chelsea. Chelsea are laughing at us right now, and not only that, we have had to pay them to take out their trash, to take out the people that.
Let me ask you this, yeah?
Yes.
A lot of people were saying these same sort of things. Chelsea are laughing at us when they bought in Romelu Lukaku. How did that work out?
That's their problem.
No, but how did that work out? This is our problem now. No, but how did that work out? Look at where we are. Look at the position we are in with the signings that we've made. And look at the position they're in with all these multi-million-pound Raheem Sterling, Lukaku, all these Aubameyang, all these big mega signings they've made where they're laughing. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they right now? And where are we? We've got to trust in some of these signings. Look at Mikel Arteta, right? Has been a long admirer of Jorginho, right? He was wanting to bring Jorginho in even when he was at Man City. Jorginho, I was looking at some of his quotes today. He said that one of the reasons why he's come to Arsenal is because of Arteta and the faith that Arteta is showing in him, right? So I think we've got to wait and see, obviously, as we would with any signings, but I think this signing makes perfect sense. And who else would you have got? Who would you have got?
I have a list.
Oh, yes. Go on, my brother. Go on.
I want to hear your list. Okay, you come ready.
We have Haidara, the man that Brighton targeted in place of
Caicedo.
We have Haidara, who was Brighton had targeted. We have Kone, who is from the German league.
Not available.
We have Bamba. Kone was available, wasn't he? Yes.
No, he wasn't available. Not for sale.
Kone was not available.
Not for sale in this transfer window. Kone.
Keep going. Run a list.
We have Bamba from
Victoria.
From Portugal.
All right, what do you know about Bamba?
Bamba is, I would say, he is a bit of lightweight. He needs some technical ability, but at least he has that youth and dynamism and energy necessary to keep us ticking over.
In the Premier League, you're going to bring in a little lightweight 20-year-old. He's 20 prospect to come and play in that.
Not exactly on the top of my list. Not exactly.
No, but you give me a list of replacements, right?
Casado's only 21 though.
Would you him or Jorginho? You'd rather bring him in right now instead of Jorginho?
I would rather
into the heat of the Premier League. Into the heat of the Premier
League. Bring him and Jorginho because his release clause is about 6 to 9 million euros, 9 million euros. So again, that could have easily.
But I'm saying, I forget about the fee. You're going to bring a 20-year-old kid, right? When we're going for the league into the heat of the Premier League, is he going, to hit the ground running?
He's not going to be playing the Premier League. He's going to be playing the Europa League. He's going to be playing the cups. That's what he would be doing.
But what experience has he got?
We're out of the cups. So he'd be in the Europa League.
He's never played in the Europa League, that kid.
Well, again,
Jorginho has. Jorginho's won the Europa League. Jorginho's won the Champions League. Jorginho's won the Euros for Italy, one of their star players.
That could be the understudy for Jorginho.
But what?
He wanted both. He said
why
both.
do we need an understudy for Jorginho for?
Could get both.
Why do we need to get both?
Give me some more names.
Yeah, I'm asking you for alternatives. You'll give me a list of alternatives. All right, continue with your list.
Give us some more. Go on.
Another alternative, we could have got Onana. I think we could have gone up to. We could have gone to Everton.
No, he said he's not leaving.
I like to take him there.
But he said he's not leaving. He says he's not leaving. He says he's not leaving.
If Arsenal came into play, believe me, he'd leave. If he
Arsenal made an inquiry. Arsenal made an inquiry about Onana, right? Onana said, not just Arsenal and Newcastle, both made inquiries about Onana. He said he's not leaving. I've only just joined Everton. I am not leaving in January. What do you do?
I think we could have made an offer he couldn't refuse. I think so. But again,
this is not the Godfather.
Yes.
This is not the Godfather,
I mentioned this as well. I didn't mention Onana as well to Robbie.
You know what I mean? You don't just rock up there and say, I'm going to make you an offer you don't refuse. And he wakes up in the middle of the night with a horse in his bed. A horse's head in his bed, right? It's got to be done. Right? It don't work like that, right? All right, who else is left?
More.
Who else is on your list?
I like this.
And the one more I would say is somebody mentioned earlier, Ruben Neves. I think that Ruben could be influenced to come down and be a part of the squad. But again, if there is one
that's another offer you're gonna have to make that you can't refuse, isn't it? There is no way you're gonna get Ruben Neves away from Wolves in January when they're fighting relegation.
Haidara would have been the guy.
Haidara.
Yes.
But what experience has Haidara got? He's never played in the Premier League. This is going to be. It's another Sambi Lokonga.
Again, this is.
We don't know that.
We don't know that.
We don't know.
Again, that, Cecil said it. We don't know that.
Yeah, but you're hoping. You're hoping on a prayer, really. You're going to bring in an inexperienced player. You're hoping you're going to bring an inexperienced player in, and he's.
Again, we're a big club. We can always move and pivot and make changes where necessary.
No, but what if Haidara comes in, right? What if Haidara comes in and like many other players, not just Haidara, like many other players, he needs to adapt and get used to the Premier League, right? And then Thomas Partey gets injured and he's thrown into the deep end. This is why, for me, Jorginho makes sense, because if he gets thrown into the deep end, with his experience, he's been there, he's done that, he can cope. His experience will get him through. He'll be able to handle the situation. If Haidara gets thrown into the deep end, like you just said, we don't know.
We're hoping on Jorginho as well to be at that. I know we've seen him do it.
Not really, because
we don't know. Robbie,
like
I think it goes back to Jorginho's capabilities at this time. He is not the best midfielder for us at this age. Yes, he has experience. Yes, he has championship pedigree. But at the end of the day, he's not the best.
But you can't give me no alternatives. You can't give me no alternatives that are available. And they're not. None of those for me. Excuse me. None of those for me are good alternatives, right? That are available now. You're giving me players like Ruben Neves. Yeah, if he was available, I'd agree. Let's go and get Ruben Neves. But you've got no chance of getting Ruben Neves in the middle of a transfer window. You're not going to get him. Forget it. So those are not good alternatives. So I'm saying to you, this is the problem of January transfer windows. With what is available, it's not like the summer where they've had months. With what is available right now, I think Jorginho is a good signing. You have to take in, because you've got to factor that in. You've got to factor in what's available. Are you going to the shops? You go to the shops and you I don't know, you want to buy a Heineken and there's no Heineken there. You got to buy the next best beer for you that you're going to enjoy if you drink beer.
Don't drink alcohol, man.
Right. But you know, so you can't just turn around and say, well, I want that. If they got none, they got none.
I understand. But here's the thing. This is where my problem with the Cronkies comes in and my problem with Adu comes in. The Cronkies were bigger than the whole Chelsea ownership board combined. Could have easily stepped in to Caicedo and said, "Hey, here's 90 million. You're coming with us," and they could have taken him, but they didn't want to go there. That's
what if the club?
Sorry.
What if you put the 90? What if you put the 90? All right, I'm Brighton, yeah. You're the Cronkies now, yeah.
Right.
You've come with your 90 million. I say to you, you see, take your 90 million and do one, as we say over here.
Right,
take your 90 million and do one. He's not available.
But I did say it's not available.
I think at 90 million they wouldn't have.
No, but I'm saying to you, I'm them now.
That's
Brighton.
the offer they wouldn't refuse.
I am Brighton, and I'm saying, well, I'm refusing
it. We won't know now because
I'm refusing it. What are you going to do?
Saying 60 million, then 65 million, then 70 million.
No, I'm Brighton. I'm Brighton now. I'm Brighton now. Let me tell you something. You could give me 200 million. I'm not interested. What are you going to do?
Here's the thing.
You're going to call your mafia friends and come around and make me an offer I can't refuse?
Listen, if they, I'll concede the point. If they gave me 90 million, if I gave them 90 million, they refuse, I walk away and say we did the best we could. But I'm thinking that Arsenal could have gone a little bit further in order to get this deal done.
So I think in this situation,
they had the price, they had their set valuation, and they never passed it. Now again, everybody wants to be celebrating it and cheering to the Raptors. Oh, we saved some money. Okay, fine. But look over your shoulder down to West London. They didn't save things, and mark my words, next year, watch out for Chelsea.
That's what they said when they got Lukaku. That's what they said.
Okay.
Watch out.
Okay.
Where are they now?
Okay.
Right? I'm saying.
It remains to be seen. I can see the point. It remains to be seen. But
I'm saying it is not as how you're making it out is just go and plonk 90 million on the table. The deal would have been done. It's not as easy as that, right? There's a lot of negotiating and things that have to go on. If somebody says to you,
Chelsea make it look easy. Though,
if somebody says to you, listen,
with Mudryk, exactly. Chelsea did that exactly with Mudryk. They stepped in. They said, you know what? Here's 100 million on the table. These are the payment plans. This is what we're going to get done in one day.
But I'm not talking about the Mudryk deal right now.
For us in one day.
I'm not talking about I'm talking about the Caicedo one, right? And I'm saying that Brighton were adamant they're not selling. What can you do? Apart from, like you said, your mafia moves where you call around some friends and you say, you're making your offer you can't refuse or else.
There's nothing you can start doing nowadays, Robbie. We are seen as the nice guys of the transfer market. We are seen as the pushover of the transfer market. It's all we don't want to ruin our relationship with Brighton. That was the Arsenal PR coming out, and that in and of itself is a cop out. It's an absolute cop out. And the fact of the matter is, we need to show strength in this market. Who are we? Are we in first place or what? That's the question we got to ask.
I don't think you understand how you have to understand how the transfer market goes. It's not as easy as just going plonking money down on the table and saying right now. All right, let me ask you this. So somebody comes along tomorrow, Chelsea turn up and say, Arsenal, we want Saka. It's 300 million. And Arsenal turn around and say, well, no, we're not selling you our best player. He's our best player. He's our future. We're not selling him. A bit like, let me give you an example, a bit like PSG, one of the richest clubs on the planet. When they went, sorry, not PSG, Real Madrid, one of the richest clubs on the planet. When they went to PSG and they said, we want Mbappe. What happened? Where is Mbappe now? We know Real Madrid over the years have been known for their aggression in the market when they want and they plunk the money down. It made no difference.
PSG don't need that money.
PSG said he ain't for sale. Forget about it. Even when his contract was running down in the January, when Real Madrid came, they said, listen, we don't care. They were offering crazy money, over 200 odd million. They said PSG said, we don't care how much money you're offering. He's not for sale. Where is he now? He's still at PSG.
Go on.
But here's the thing. Okay, go ahead, Cecil.
No, that's you. I'll say you go on. Let me hear.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. We got to start moving as. If we're gonna, what's done is done. In the past is the past. We got Jorginho. That's all well and good. It's done. But at the end of the day, in starting this summer, we've got to start moving like we're a bloody big club. Who's the biggest club in London? It's Chelsea, because that's what they're showing. That's what they're really showing.
They're the richest club.
We got to start moving like Bobby Big Bollocks and moving around and start moving these guys around and letting them know what's what.
I'll be honest with you though. I'll be honest with you. You know, I don't really want to move like Chelsea. Because Chelsea, to me, are a club that's got lots and lots of money throwing their weight around, but they've got no plan. They've got no plan. They're trying their hardest to get back to being the Chelsea they were a few years ago by just throwing loads of money around. And seemingly to me, they do not have a plan in place, a proper plan to get back to where they want to be. And that's not just me saying that. You speak to a lot of Chelsea fans.
But we have the plan.
They're not even fully happy with what's going on.
We have a plan. We have a plan.
We've got a plan.
We just have to take elements of that. I hear what you're saying.
Thank you. But the thing is, we have a plan. We have a first choice. We're not getting our first choice. That's the thing. We're being knocked off our block for our first choices. It happened with Madrid. It happened with João Felix. It happened, and well, I wouldn't say Caicedo.
Well, it happened with Lisandro Martinez. Are you not happy with Zinchenko?
It happened with Lisandro Martinez.
You happy with Zinchenko?
That
he's cheeky. I know. Look at him.
That
just pretend you frozen. Yeah, just cut. The internet's gone.
That I'll give you.
Hey, listen, it's been great talking to you.
That I'll give you. Okay, I'll give you Zinchenko.
Elliot, you're a star, man. You're a star, Elliot. You're a star, Elliot, man. Where are you from, by the way? Where are you from, Elliot? Toronto, yeah.
Love it there, buddy.
Elliot, you're a star, man. You can make sure you come back on again.
Elliot, you're a legend.
I will indeed.
Bro, I'm with you.
By the way, just before you go, what do you give the window out of 10 then, the transfer window?
Out of 10, I would give the window a 6.
6, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you think
we got what we quote unquote needed, and and Arsenal PR is at work. Arsenal PR, the best in the business. We got what we needed, and we're moving forward. All I'm saying is this summer has got to be a mammoth summer.
Okay.
It cannot be. This is the summer where Edu's credentials will be tested fully. Because if we ever win the Premier League, and this man can't get any of these big signings in, he needs to go. Get in Michael Edwards from Liverpool and say, come on, let's go. Let's get these big signings in because
they didn't even sign anyone today.
My man from Ipanema can't get the job done. I'm sorry, it's just not.
They didn't even sign anyone today, Liverpool.
Well, because they're broke. Basically, they don't. Red Sox group don't want to put any money in. That's them.
Put all their trust in Cody.
Well, listen, thank you very much, man. I appreciate your call, man. It's brilliant.
Big up, Elliot, man. Loved your energy, man. Big up. Lovely speaking with you, my guy. Love. Take care. You better hope Jorginho hits the ground running, big man. He was funny. Man said, Zinchenko, he started freezing. That was brilliant. Brilliant.
Oh, we lost my stream now.
All right, I'm going to read up some of the super chats that have come in as well. Big up everyone that's been joining this live and getting involved. Make sure you hit a like. John, right, actually, I think we did miss one up here somewhere. Mark Williams did say with a super chat, says, as a Chelsea fan, past players went to you when the switch was a step down. Jorginho's class act in the team, playing like Arsenal at the moment. Great business. Let me just see if I can catch up to where we were as well earlier.
You keep doing that because I've lost my stream on my
no worries.
My laptop.
John Rahman says Benfica said Enzo wasn't for sale, but Chelsea put the money down and got it done. Arsenal should have put the money down if they wanted Caicedo and Mudryk. 27.
It's a mad deal that Enzo.
It's like what is it? I thought it was 103 million. Has it gone to like 120? I'm hearing.
Honestly, like I don't think
money.
you can be comparing us with Chelsea right now
can't.
because Chelsea
Their
are just
spending is
doing.
crazy.
I mean, nobody in European football right now is doing the madness that Chelsea are doing. And I just don't think you can.
You can't compare. You want to take elements of it.
I don't think there's no club at the moment. It's just mad what they're doing at the moment. It's crazy.
Zenith with a super chat says, this guy looks like Bo Manny Jones of ESPN. Bentner Banter says, Thuram was the 160 million release clause, 6'4" CDM, one of the most promising prospects in League On.
Prospects.
Press resistant, great passer and tackler.
Prospects. Is that what we need right now? Prospects.
Caicedo he's not like he's proven because he's played in the Premier League, but not for long. Only 6 months. Like, come on, Rob, it's not a bad shot there.
Yeah, no, but he's played in the Premier League, and that's the thing.
That is a difference.
Again, he can hit the ground running right now in the Premier League.
Let's hope Jorginho does that as well. We hope.
Well, he's been playing in the Premier League for long enough, so I'm sure he's going to understand that. You know.
Yeah. 40 side with super chat says 6 months ago every Arsenal fan wanted Xhaka out. Now he's one of our top players. Arteta gets the best out of players, and we'll do the same with Jorginho. We need a good squad, not flashy signings.
That is such a great point. I mean,
I'm gonna hear that now.
You know, no, that is because
you are right.
Wasn't that the same thing? He's slow. He's just like I forgot his name. The last guy,
Elliot.
Elliot, who was saying he's got the turning circle of a cruiser. That's what they used to say about Xhaka. Now look at Xhaka as one of the best midfielders.
But Xhaka's playing
in
further
the Premier
up.
League.
Jorginho will be playing in that key defensive midfield role. But you're right.
But as I'm saying, in a different system, will we see a better Jorginho?
I hope so. Balbo84 says, get a backup for Jorginho from the funds we've saved. We saved up for Declan. Other worthy targets in summer. What's wrong with people? We got fail-safe needed. Fail-safe needed. We got the fail-safe needed. I've never heard of fail-safe, but I think it might have been a spelling mistake there. David B says with super chat, I'm from Salzburg, where Hadara first came through, and his form went through the roof. Since then, he went to Leisberg and Hoffenheim, I think, and he hasn't been the same guy since. Fell off totally. And the last two super chats that have just come in. Ash with super chat says Chelsea really signed Enzo and gave him an 8.5 year. Have they done that again? What is going? I know they're trying to stop the financial fair play and trying to break that, but it's
madness what they're doing, and it all looks great now. But what if it don't work out? Imagine in Arsenal, we go. I remember when we still had Mesut Ozil and these guys still on long, 3-4 years left on their deal, and everyone's like, "What were Arsenal thinking of giving them?"
I'll be honest. Being a player, if you're 8.5 years, you can write at a club. Like you can be in a club and be like,
you could see,
you don't want to be here. Like that's
if you're an 8.5 year contract. I mean, basically, what Chelsea are doing right now, they are gambling,
spreading the cross. Yeah,
they are gambling on all of these players that they give long-term contracts. Right, they are gambling that these players are going to work out. Right, and as they've seen with Lukaku, right. What's he on, a 5-year contract, Lukaku? A year after they signed him, he was out the door on loan at Inter Milan. Inter Milan now, the rumours are they're going to send him back because he's bombing out at Inter Milan.
Yeah, they don't want him
so
back.
that'll be another player they'll have just sitting down there. They've got so many players, they ain't even going to be able to all them register them all. I mean, honestly, listen, I'm not a Chelsea fan, so I don't really care. And, they found a loophole to the system, and good luck to them. But that could come back and bite them. That really could come back and bite them. And
it likely will.
And I just don't think you can compare Arsenal right now when it comes to spending money and doing transfers to Chelsea, because there's no other club in European football who are doing what Chelsea are doing at the moment.
They're taking a risk. They're going to have to sell these players for a lot of money to make back their money, and I doubt they'll be able to do that. Lil Brava with a super chat says, not happy at first, but I've come around. I think a lot of fans have come to this conclusion here. Arteta's job to ensure we are set up to protect him so he's not exposed. Zinni dropping into the midfield will be key. I liked what he said at the start there. Not happy at first, but I've come around. Searching for Smithy with a super chat says, Arteta is gassed to have Jorginho. So am I. If he is So he's basically saying if he's happy, I'm happy. Trust in the process. That was the last of the super chats. I think that's where we've kind of come to so far.
Yeah, you know, we got about 23 minutes left, and we may as well ride it out till the end of the transfer window.
How long have we been live?
Right, so we'll take some more. We'll take some more callers. May as well ride it out to the end of the transfer window. Just to remind everybody again, of the signing so far this transfer window, Leandro Trossard, 28 million pounds, well, 21 million pounds, rising to 28 with add-ons from Brighton. Jakob Kivior signed from Spezia for 21 million pounds, left-sided centre back. And of course, today Jorginho signed from Chelsea for 10 million pounds plus add-ons of about 2 million pounds on an 18-month short-term deal. The players that have gone out on loan, Marquinhos has gone out on loan to Norwich City. Sambi Lokonga out on loan. He has joined Crystal Palace until the end of the season. And also a loan deal done for Cedric, who is on his way to Fulham. That is the transfer dealings.
Marquinhos to Norwich just quickly on the end there as well. But quickly, how much have we spent then, Robbie, this window in total? So what, 28 and then 20?
So 20, 42, 50... 50 in effect, if you add all the, if you take away the
roughly like 50.
Take off the add-ons, it's about 50 million. Which
January
in comparison to Chelsea seems like nothing, but for a January transfer window, it's quite a lot.
January. But listen, I'm used to hardly any business being done, but 50 million free signings. Yeah, man. Some more super chats just rolled in there.
Nick Gardella says, I watched Jorginho not be able to boss the midfields of North Macedonia, Switzerland and Northern Ireland and not make the World Cup. Don't need to see this at Arsenal. Arteta was at Man City 4 years ago, so he's not happy. But Arnajit says, Jorginho might prove to be the signing of the season.
I think Trossard will be up there with one of the biggest.
I think
he'll be one of the signings of the season. Because
I think Trossard so far has shown me enough evidence to suggest that that's a very good signing for Arsenal. I'm really pleased with the Trossard.
I think the news of Jorginho has kind of swarmed over the Trossard sign. I think once the season carries on, we're gonna see Trossard really just cook in this final stage of the season. I think it's gonna be quality. Miles away with super chat there says, if Arteta wants Jorginho, then I want Jorginho. Trust in Arteta, trust in the process. Another good super chat there.
And Michael Clev says, Lokonga, make sure you smash Man United on Saturday. So have we got any? We're gonna have another caller up. Okay, we're just getting them through at the moment. So
I saw some of the photos of Lokonga signing on there at Palace. I saw him on the screen earlier. Listen, we spoke about it earlier. What a loan deal that is going to be for him. And boy, did you say he's got Man United? Is it this weekend? We obviously away to Everton.
They got Man United. Man United. I'm just looking at the Lokonga thing right now. So confirmed that Sambi Lokonga has joined Manchester United, Crystal Palace on loan. On some of the other clubs, did it surprise you that João Cancelo leaving Man City and going to Bayern Munich on loan? I mean, that was really weird one, because Shabin talks about it here. He says, we forget Man City's depth has been reduced with Cancelo. We've strengthened. Let's see if the pundits talk about that now. What do you think, guys? And it's just really... That was a really strange one, but obviously Cancelo not getting on with Pep Guardiola.
A few other players as well, haven't they, Robbie, that have kind of fallen out of Pep Guardiola.
There's rumours that Bernardo Silva wanted out as well, but they just couldn't find a club for him. Benjamin says, what's happening with Reece Nelson? Now, Reece Nelson, I saw pictures of him back in the gym. Obviously, he's like a hamstring injury, so he's back in the gym, and let's hope that he'll be back in the squad soon.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a part to play.
I feel for him. I really feel for him.
The Pale King says, regardless of transfers, I'm very excited about the rest of the season and what it holds. Arteta is one of the GOATs, and he says, laugh out loud. So
Darren as well with super chat. I don't know if you saw that one. It says, are we not weak in the midfield? No one else ?
We've got one of the best midfields in the Premier League.
When they're fit. When everyone's fit.
How are we weak in the midfield? One of the reasons why we've been so successful this season has been our midfield. It's been really good.
Yeah, if you're including Odegaard, including all those, Xhaka in form.
Xhaka.
It's nice. It's nice in there. It's nice in there. But he might be saying, without George, we got obviously Partey. If he gets injured, and Jorginho, he might seem that as weak. But there's
I think we've got Chucks in the chat. Chucks saying, "Oh, I'm a brethren, Chucks."
You know each other, yeah?
How you doing, man?
Yeah, man.
Listen,
I'm fine. Thank you.
His son.
I said I'm gonna come on here today to be.
His son.
Come on.
His son plays with my son. They both play for the same football team.
Oh, big up.
And we'll be on the sidelines at games. And Chucks will be there arguing with me about this player and that player. Now I know, I just get the feeling. I just get the feeling that Chucks is not going to be happy about the signing of Zinchenko.
Yeah, I'm on the show already.
Of Jorginho. What do you make of signing Jorginho?
Go on, Chucks.
I'm on the show already.
You're on.
Yeah. How are you feeling about the signing of Jorginho?
Yeah, I think I'm getting somebody repeating what we said before.
Oh, he can't hear us properly.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's come back to you, Chucks. We're going to come back to you. We're going to get the... Oh, you can hear us now.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay, sure. I wanted to ask you about the signing of Jorginho. What have you made of that?
That is fantastic. I'll tell you. Fantastic.
I'm surprised. I thought you might be upset about that. That's a good signing.
Look, I've been cussing you, when you're saying don't blame them on this, don't blame them on that. They've tried. I was just cussing because I just want to get this Premier League over the line. And you need players with experience, not costing us a lot of money, because I believe in building a team. You know me. I believe in building a team that can rule 5-6 years without stopping. Right? And you're not going to achieve that by going out there and throwing money, 100 million, 80 million on one player. Since Aubameyang, I think this is the best January transfer Arsenal have done. Because we got there, we know what we need, we got what we need. I am so happy. In fact, I can't express my joy because I know.
Wow.
Jesus.
You know what? Because I thought you was going to come. I know you, right? And as I said, me and you are always, like you said, we're always arguing, right? Right.
I give it to you.
We're always arguing, right? I thought you wouldn't be happy with the Jorginho.
The best signing. Jesus.
Yeah. Call it the best signing, right? Then this now, right? From the 60 million or 65 million price on Cecil, right? We got about 50 million extra. By June or July, you can add something there. Go and get that your ambitious player. Well, we've been talking about Declan Rice, right? Yep. We can add money. Go and get that. Look, you know why people are still doubting Arsenal? They are doubting Arsenal because they thought about the bench. By next season, we will have a rich bench. That's what I'm talking. You can't ignore Jorginho there. You can't ignore Partey there. You can't ignore Declan Rice. People get him. That's what we're talking about, Man City.
Oh, we're losing him a bit.
That is why the likes of this Man United fan, what's his name? The one on the TV.
Gary Neville.
Gary Neville.
That's the only reason he tells you, I don't believe, because once there's 1 or 2 injuries, that is it. So by next season, he will believe in Arsenal, and his lives will know that we are coming. I'm telling you, if Arsenal continue in this trajectory, we will rule football in England. Mark my word, for the next 5 years.
I like your friend Chucks. I like him. Apart from him saying it's the best signing in the window. I mean, but Chucks, big you up, man.
Chucks, thank you very much, man. I'll see you at the weekend, man. I'll see you at the weekend. Big up to Chucks, man.
That must be mad seeing
when I tell you that me and him, right? We will be there arguing about Arsenal. He'll come up to me and goes, Robbie, what are they doing? That's why I thought he might be against this signing.
Yeah.
But then actually, when I think about it, with the things he says a lot of times, he's always saying to me, he wants to see us build back to where we are. And, I get what you're saying with that. He's about building back to where we are. Love that. Big up Chucks.
No, big up. So I spoke about Gary Neville there as well and saying, there's always tests, but we've passed a lot of tests. We've passed with Gabriel Jesus being injured and come back in and still kept the level. So yeah, depth is key. It's good. It's no
I think we've got Josh R. Just as we're getting Josh up, let me do a couple more super chats.
Loads flew in then.
Darren says, "Are we not weak in midfield? No one else. We're not weak in midfield." I did that one.
I read,
Matthew says, "Thanks for having me on the show, lads. We can't be certain the Cronkies will spend big in the upcoming seasons. Right player, right place, right price is a mentality." Ash says, "Chelsea have signed Enzo, Maduka, Mudryk, Felix, Bashadili, Santos, Fofana, Nkunku in the summer, Gusto in the summer, Robbie and Cecil. Call FFP on them." Laugh out loud. They don't seem to have no FFP.
It's crazy,
They don't seem to have no FFP with these 10-year deals, 8.5 year, 9.5, 7.5. It's crazy what they've done. They have literally spent more money than
700 million, 800 million. It's up to 800 million.
It's ridiculous.
Stupid.
I think they said they spent more money. Chelsea alone.
Yeah.
Chelsea alone. Forget the Premier League. Chelsea alone has spent more money than La Liga, the Bundesliga, the French league, all leagues across Europe put together.
That's ridiculous.
They're spending in January.
Together,
they've spent more money than all of those leagues. Every single club in it put together has not spent the same amount of money as Chelsea has spent in this January transfer.
I need to meet Todd Bowley, but he needs to give me a $5. What's
it's
going
mad.
on? It's, you know what? When Abramovich left them, I was worried that they'll get a big spender, and they got a big spender, and it's just not working.
But I don't know. He just seems scattergun. But listen,
Anyway.
I don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing it. They got their own FFP, and I think the third word of the F is sort of like F your FFP. That's what it seems to be. We got another caller, Josh.
Coming to the last 10 minutes of the window. Hello,
Josh. How you doing, Josh?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Yeah, I'm good. What have you made of the transfer window for Arsenal?
Look, I think people are hyper fixated on Jorginho. Like, I get it. I hate Chelsea, so I get it. We've had so many signings come in, and we've struggled with, all the guys who have come in, like Czech and stuff in the past. But like, we can't hyper fixate on one player when we've got such an impressive squad, and we've been doing so well this season. And then now we're just improving the squad. And I think there was a message earlier that you guys read out where it talked about the squad, and that is exactly what this is. Like, Jorginho is not going to start week in, week out. He's not going to start ahead of Partey. But if he can come in and do a job just for one match this season, that could get us the title.
Yeah. And I think where he'd be very important as well is what I was saying is like, those Thursday night games in the Europa League where you can say to Partey, put your feet up. Put your feet up, we need you on the weekend. Or who knows that he don't come in and he's so good that might even dislodge Partey. That's what we want. We want him to come in and be so good that it's a bit like with Zinchenko. Listen, last year, all of us were like, if I turned up to the Emirates, right, and somebody turned around to me and said, "Yeah, Rob, Tierney's out," I was like, "Yes, oh my God, oh Jesus, what are we gonna do?" And remember, like, Nuno Tavares would come in, and I like Nuno, but come on, it was a big drop off.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
This year, if I turn up to the Emirates and someone says, "Yeah, Rob, Tierney's out," I'm cool. Zinchenko's in.
That's calm.
Yeah. Zinchenko,
that's what, when you got a good... So who's to say, like, the hope is that he comes in and he does such a good job. If someone says Partey's out, I'm like, yeah, okay, he's out, but Jorginho's there. Hopefully, that's what I'm not saying that Jorginho is on the levels of Partey. He's not, but hopefully he can come in and do that job. So let's wait and see.
Not cover.
And like, even further on, you can keep going and just looking at the squad we have, and we've now strengthened on the wing with Trossard. We've got Jakub, who's come in as a centre back. Like, honestly, we probably have one of the more impressive squads we've had since probably I can remember watching Arsenal.
Yeah,
and
for a very long time.
And so why? Like, I understand the hyperfixation on him, but there's no need to. We spent 10 million on him. If he flops and we win the title, we move on. Sell him off for 2 million. Who cares?
Of course.
Exactly.
Of course. I think the fixation is obviously a deadline day signing. For Arsenal fans,
and it's watching Chelsea.
We want a Casado, and like, you know, it's the last signing.
It's just
watching Chelsea.
Like one of my buddies at uni, he's talking about them throwing around money, and I'm like, you guys throw around money, and it's like it's toys, but it's not doing anything. It's not getting you anywhere. So what's the point? I'd rather spend 10 million on Jorginho, win the league, than spend 150 million and go get Rafael Leao tomorrow.
Yeah. How much money have Brighton spent? And they're above Chelsea. So
exactly. That's exactly it.
Well, listen, thanks very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate your call. I'm going back onto the super chats. Thank you very much. Milo says, oh my God, Enzo Fernandez, midfielder. Huge news. Yes, Enzo Fernandez going to Chelsea. Another one of their crazy deals. Dumber Basket 37 says, only nipped to the shop for milk. Now I'm signing for Crystal Palace, he says.
He's talking about Lukonga.
Emmanuel says, Trossard reminds me of Jota at Liverpool class. Let's hope
that was a good sign.
Yeah, let's hope he's a similar signing like Jota. If he can prove out to be like what Jota did for them.
That'd be unbelievable. Robbie, coming into the last 7 minutes of the window.
7 minutes of the transfer window.
Any big signings for Arsenal?
Could there be a late signing for Arsenal that comes in? Brighton have changed their mind.
I'd love that, man.
I'll tell you what, Brighton as well in the summer, come the summer, that Matoma as well.
Oh my!
There are gonna be loads of clubs coming in for him as well.
He's quality. And
how do they do it, bro?
They signed a young midfielder as well, didn't they? He's probably gonna be worth. I think I've got it written down.
Yeah.
They signed a
for
like £2 million. He's probably gonna be worth crazy money in the future as well.
Yeah. They do some excellent business.
Yassin,
you see, that's the thing though. When they're making some of these signings, you know, and there'll be people after this show, or there'll be people after a couple of weeks, and they'll be going, why don't we do what Brighton do? But if we made some of these signings, but you know, but people don't really know who they are, then people be moaning, oh, we should be going to get Enzo Fernandez, or you know.
Yep.
Sometimes you've got to, you know, look at some of our best players. Look at Martinelli. Who knew who he was before he came?
That's a good point.
Came for next to nothing. How much is he worth right now?
I remember your welcome video with that one, and he's like, I'll be honest, I don't know much about him, but he's been a star here. My inner Turkish with a super chat says, breaking, Chelsea attempts to hijack Jorginho. Robbie, just let me ask you, obviously, what day are we now? Is it Monday or is it Tuesday?
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday. So for Saturday, these players Jorginho could be available to play.
But yeah, Jorginho, of course.
We've got Trossard there as well.
Yeah, Jorginho's available. He'll be in the squad.
Do you expect to see some of these players? I mean, it's Everton.
I think they'll be on the bench.
Yep.
And I think, it will be a very strong bench. You know what I mean? I think if all of the Arsenal team are fit and ready to go in that game, you look on the bench and you'll see Trossard on there, Jorginho on there.
Don't see any of them starting, no. You don't see any of them starting at all, no?
But the beauty of it is remember, when Jesus comes back as well, we're going to have a very strong squad.
Emil Smith-Rowe back.
If we can get him back to fitness as well.
Boy, actually,
you start to look at Arsenal, you start to look at a really strong squad. Whereas I remember a few weeks ago we had a game, I can't remember which game it was, but when you looked on the bench, I think it was against Newcastle.
It was
just pure youngsters on the bench. Marquinhos and guys like this. So yeah, I think we've strengthened. Paul Tembo says, Robbie Cecil, people forget that Tony Bloom is a professional poker player, so maybe he's bluffing. Well, he ain't bluffing, man. He's serious, that guy. Yeah, you got to admire Brighton. Listen, he's stuck to his guns. He's kept his player. I question how wise that is, because
so do I.
If it's down to money, then I don't think they'll get the same amount of money possibly in the summer. But listen,
man. And Brighton are like our feeder club, man. Sure, they want to see us win the league.
Well, actually, I think he's shown a lot of ambition, Tony Bloom at Brighton, because what he's basically saying is we want to get into Europe. They've got a great chance of getting into Europe, and he's like, I want to keep my best players as much as I can to try and get into there. And also you've already had Trossard, you're not getting another. So fair play to him, but hopefully we'll go back in.
For him and Matoma in the summer.
For him and Matoma in the summer, that's going to be another player that they'll probably about 60 million for, who they paid about 3 million for, I think.
They are
Crazy.
smashing it.
I think we got another caller. We got Litos.
Before we end the transfer window. Hello,
Litos, how you doing?
What's going on, everyone? You're right.
I'm good, man. I'm good. What do you give this window out of 10? 3 minutes to go of this transfer window. What do you give it out of 10?
To be honest, Robbie, you know what? I think of it this way. Imagine being a manager of a football team was like any other job. Yeah. So the people in charge of you tell you, look, we've got these 3 positions that you need to fill. What positions did we need to fill? We needed to fill a midfielder, we needed a winger, and we needed reinforcements for a defender. We did it. We also had people that we needed to get out. Obviously, Lokonga, love the guy. Don't like the way people were treating him. I hope he does well under Vieira. We got him out. We got Cedric out. So for me, it's a strong window. The only thing I would say is I wish they would have happened earlier in the window. So for me, it's like an 8.5.
Yeah.
The problem with Arsenal fans is that they would play too much Championship Manager and they want to buy this player, they want to buy that player. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, relax. At the end of the day, like, we don't work for Arsenal. It's not like, don't get too emotionally attached. That's why people just going crazy. Like, at the end of the day, we had to do this. Arteta and Edu did it. If we're trusting the process, we like where we are, then everyone just chilled. You know what I'm saying?
We have to trust the process when it comes to signings. I feel. I thought it was a disgrace today when I saw a hashtag Edu out or something like that. I looked at it and I'm like, is this a prank or something? Because I said to myself, you have to give this guy's got a lot of credit in the bank now, right? When he bought in Ben White, we all looked at it for 50 million for Ben White. What is that? Look how well that's turned out. The big one was Ramsdale. When he bought in Ramsdale, I'm gonna admit it, even me, I looked on that and I was like, what? Why do we need to get Aaron Ramsdale? There were people saying things like, he's been relegated twice. Look how good he's been. And they bought him in specifically. Tomiyasu.
Because you know how Tomiyasu was linked to Tottenham, and then all of a sudden and I was thinking, what's going on? I don't want no Tottenham reject. And then look how well he's been. He's like one of my favorite players.
Tomiyasu's been absolutely brilliant. Zinchenko, that's another good signing. Gabriel Jesus, another good signing. You know what I mean? They've earned the right. You know, Fabio Vieira, I think, will come good. You know what I mean? Still a player that's developing. So I reckon these guys deserve our trust, and I back what you're saying.
The last minute of the window 100%. Closing.
Robbie, I just wanted to say, like, you had the Ecuadorian Guna on earlier.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to all Latinos. I was home earlier this year. I was before our first Man United game. I was in Colombia. I'm originally from Colombia.
Yeah.
Yo, there's so many Gunas in Colombia. It's unbelievable. I was in Bogota. Shout out to the Colombian Gunas. On Instagram, it's called Colombian Gunner. Shout out to the guy. These guys are gassed. So you know the new decorations on the Emirates?
Yeah.
They managed to get their emblem on there. You don't understand. They're so gassed that they're gonna have a little bit of Colombia on the stadium. They're so fantastic. Happy. But what I was gonna say is that obviously the Latino community in London is quite small. Like, we all know each other, yeah. And I know.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. I've got to interrupt you 1 second because the window has closed. That's it. Yeah. The window has closed. There is no more time to do any deals. That is it. No, Casino is not coming in. Right. There is no late move for a Colombian superstar to come through the gate. The transfer window is shut. All right, you can continue.
Carry on. That's what I was gonna say. So I know kind of like the people, because Caicedo comes to London quite a lot. And I know a few people that he hangs around with. He's always going to like eat out with and stuff like that. These lot are hardcore Chelsea fans, like World's End lot. Like, these guys are hardcore Chelsea fans. His agent, people that hang around with his agent, the people that are probably advising him. I reckon they probably told him to do that Instagram post to be like, you know what, you do this, you probably come to Chelsea. That I honestly don't think we're gonna get Caicedo. Honestly,
you don't think
I would love him, honestly, but I honestly don't think we're gonna get him.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I mean, listen, we know now what we've got now for January confirmed. But I'll tell you one thing: the summer's going to be really interesting, isn't it? It's going to be really interesting in the summer. Because
Rob, you know what? 12 million. Sorry, 12 million. Yeah, we paid 12 million for this guy, Jorginho. People are expecting him to come in and be competition for Partey. That's never going to happen. we're just expecting him to be like another El Neni, and he is going to be like. If anything, he's got better quality than El Neni. I'm happy with it. Even at the beginning of the day, I was like, nah, Jorginho, are you mad? But right now, I'm thinking it makes sense, and there's still a pathway for Patino. You know what I'm saying? We still got other players coming through, and if it's true that we want to get Rice, so be it. I don't mind. At the end of the day, this is like a year thing. What could go wrong? Do you know what I mean? We were angry with. I put like what you said is that we don't want to be Chelsea earlier. You said that we don't want to be like Chelsea. I 100% agree with you. I can't stand that club. Growing up in West London, being born and raised in West London, being surrounded by Chelsea fans my whole life. Oh my days, I can't stand the way that club's run. And I fell in love with the Arsenal where we created superstars. Anelka, getting him young, selling him, paying for the ground, the training ground. You know what I mean? We created superstars. And if you think about all the massive money been spent on players, a lot of them flop all the time. So what's the point? It's better to get a 20-30 million pound player and make him into an Arsenal legend than go and obviously at the time we paid like 50 million for Mesut Ozil. If you account for inflation, that would probably be like 100 million today. He was alright for a couple of seasons, and look at the way we talk about Ozil now. Like at the time, we were all gassed. Oh yeah, that was sick. That's
it. That's the danger of having these players on these 8.5-year contracts.
Yep.
What's the point? Honestly, I don't rate it. I prefer we do the way these men are moving, getting Martinelli cheap, building superstars, and that way they're going to be loyal to the club as well. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Well, listen, thank you very much for your call. You're our last caller of the day as well.
Big up,
so appreciate
big up you lot. Listen, I watch you lot religiously. You do a lot for the community, for Arsenal fans. I've met you a few times, Robbie. The last time I saw you, I went to the Channel 4 thing that you did. And I was gonna say, that's the last time I saw you. You were with Claude, RIP to Claude, and I feel like he would be loving what we're seeing right now, innit?
He would.
Arsenal, the way we're moving.
He'd still be moaning though. I know him.
Claude.
I still be. You know what? As you say,
he might be
as you say, Claude.
He might be like, it's time to go.
No, you know what? Right, as you say, Claude. Right, I could just imagine him hearing about Jorginho. He wouldn't be having it for sure. I miss that guy, man. Claude. Well, listen, thank you very much, man. Appreciate your call,
both
man.
of you. Respect.
Big up, man.
Appreciate your call. So listen, that's it. The window is closed.
No Mbappe,
RY 2696. You see what he said, Robbie? We had 30 seconds to sign Mbappe on loan.
Facts.
We didn't get him. The window has closed. This is what it is now for Arsenal. Let me run it down. It is Leandro Trossard, bought in for £21 million plus add-ons. Right. Let me take his headphones off. Right. It is also. I know you said Mudryk there. Jakob Kivior bought in for £21 million from Spezia. And, of course, Jorginho bought in today for £10 million plus add-ons. And out on loan has gone Marquinhos to Norwich.
Yep.
Also, Sambi Lokonga
to Crystal Palace. And then Cedric to Fulham. And that is it for the January window. Busy January window. Busy
January transfer window. I want to thank everybody for watching the show today. I also want to thank everybody who's been watching Transfer Daily throughout January. It's been one of our biggest ever Transfer Dailies. Nearly up to nearly 6 million of you have watched the shows. I really, really appreciate that. So thank you very much for that. Want to thank the production team. You guys have worked really, really hard today, so I really appreciate that. Big up to Brennan, big up to Joe. They've also been working hard on all the Transfer Daily shows throughout the month. What do you want?
I say thank you to. I've been here.
Big up to Cecil.
I've been here all day.
He has been here all day, and
thank you for the welcome videos.
His welcome videos have been absolutely classics. You got to watch the latest welcome video for Jorginho. They've been absolutely classics this month. So well done to you, Cecil. Big up to James, to Turkish as well. The whole of the team have been really working hard this month with all the transfers. But that is it. The transfer window is closed now. Now that we know what the team is and the squad is, let's go and win the league. That's what we want to do. Let's go and win the league. And I'll tell you what, it sets it up as well for a very exciting summer transfer window as well. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe here on AFTV. I gotta get myself a nice little sleep tonight, man. I'm gonna wake up early in the morning and do no research or no transfers. That is it. The transfer window's closed, and
good night.
We're out of here. Good night.
I just got to toilet. Laters.